Welcome to episode 241 of the Overlook Hour. I am your host, Clark Little. Along with me, as always, is the man over in Oakland, California. He just said it's a little bit hot today. It's Randy Michaelstad.
Yes, sir. I have the window open, so you may hear some freeway traffic and or helicopters. But
some street noise. What's going on in Oakland today?
I don't know, man. There's always helicopters. There was also a worship band set up in a parking lot across the street from my house this morning.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you join
Apparently they do a church service or something, and they have a worship band at this parking lot, like, not too far from my house.
Randy, that's a music gig, dude. See, you know, if they need like a backup drummer or something.
Pack up your microcord.
I got to get back into Christ to play music live again?
You don't have to be, you know.
That's true.
Just fake it. Most people do.
A gig is a gig, dude.
That's fair.
Man, it's the gig economy, man.
Yeah, man. Also joining us is Rusty John Fisher, and Oksana Valerian Bosach.
What, you just lumped us together?
Yeah.
All right, type.
I view you as one person. Take for that what you will. But you know it's true.
Okay. I'll take it. I don't know what to do with that.
I like this In-N-Out shirt you have.
I know, it's tight.
The Colorado one.
Yeah. My sister got COVID, so I could get it.
In Colorado.
Yep.
That's
Colorado COVID, man.
I got COVID. Speaking of COVID, someone with whom we are close
Died.
got COVID.
Who?
Is it Nigel Bach?
Our buddy Jeff in Florida.
Who, Jeff? Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. He'll be fine.
He posted a video, said, I got COVID. I guess I'm going to watch TV for 10 days. He looked feverish.
Yeah.
And he was in his truck. We wish Jeff a lot of luck.
Are you going to give him his drop? You mentioned him.
Here we go. Where is it? Oh, God.
Yeah, that's Jeff.
Gone too soon.
R.I.P.
Joining us on the show this week is Christian Zakharchuk. Now, did I ask Christian how to pronounce his last name before we talked to him? I did not. Did I ask Christian how to pronounce his name after we talked to him? No, I did not. So, Christian, if I messed up your last name, I apologize. Also, it's kind of your fault for having a difficult last name, so don't blame me. Russell?
What? You need help?
What'd you think of our talk with Christian?
I thought it was fun. I think everybody should check it out. I know we bury these good interviews. Honestly, I'm starting to think the interviews are the best part of the show. They're buried an hour and a half behind us, jerking each other off, talking about beer and just skip all this. Just go right there. Actually, Randy, whatever happened to doing the timestamp?
You know, it no comment.
That was there we go. Totally forgot. I think, Oksana, do you do it on YouTube?
I do.
Wait, what happened to our YouTube videos?
They're coming.
See, me and Clark, we're a well-oiled machine.
I mean,
we've been doing this shit for 4 years. Randy...
That is true, but again, we just show up and talk. Because that, honestly, look, that's the sad side of show business, okay? I'm sorry that we're the talent. I'm sorry that we carry the show.
Don't group me.
And that, you know, you plebeians actually have to do the real work. As I rise to stardom and Russell is on my cockles.
No, I can feel it. One day Randy's gonna be in here and I'm gonna be in East Oakland. And I'm gonna be like, oh, I got my window open. I went to the movies alone. He's gonna replace me.
Have you ever been to the movies alone?
No.
Never?
No, I have friends. Why would I do that?
So, see, that's the thing. People, see, that's the thing. It's perfectly healthy to go to the movies alone.
True.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, there's no argument.
That's
There's just a statement.
That's what I want both of you to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's your homework for this year. Both of you go to a movie by yourself.
I can't.
I want to see if it can be done.
Again, we'll get into podcast I've been listening to again. And just, the human, our modern culture of removing ourselves from the tribal nature of, the human beast we all are.
Yeah.
And I really think that's the best argument for movie theaters coming back. is that art is so much better when you digest it in a group. I mean, dude, going out and watching Nobody with y'all, like,
Yes,
much better than
Russell,
watching.
I am not trying to argue to not go with a group.
I know.
That's fine.
But my whole thing, if I went and I watched The Empty Man alone,
Yeah.
I would walk out of there with regret. And I would be like, fuck, man. I
You
wish
don't
other
know
people...
because you've never done it before.
Oh, dude, I feel bad watching a movie that is good alone at home. I don't like doing it. That's why half my collection, I've never watched it.
What films have you watched at home alone? What did you
Oh, I don't know.
Macaulay Culkin?
I'd really have to think about it. I used to watch Amazon Prime alone because I'm like, I don't want to make people like, sit through a random, feature film that I refuse to turn off. And then I learned I'm just going to start doing that anyway. And
That's
have
also
people over.
true.
Yeah.
The only film I know that you've turned off is Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I should rewatch it so then I can try and do it. No, but here's the thing.
I know another one you turned off.
Really?
Voices? Or what's his face can hear animals talk?
I turned that off
The
because
Voices.
the theater, there was a mutiny a brewing,
Oh yeah, y'all had
and
a
everybody
fight.
got mad. They were
I like that film.
they were riffing, and I just said, I'm turning it off. Fuck y'all. And I've actually done that another time. I turned off Rubber because I was in a room with people ripping it, and I just went, I want to watch this movie. Y'all are making this a worse experience, so I turned it off.
But see, Russell, you've sort of cultivated that atmosphere, though.
Nope. No. I do not put on a film to shred it.
I don't know, man. Because I'm just playing devil's advocate here, because I think that's a slippery slope you have.
Yeah.
And I think that because of some of the people that are associated with coming, used to come in on a regular basis watching films, they maybe can't see that writing on the wall.
Oh, dude. Rubber?
It could sort of be hard to misinterpret.
Rubber was pre the screening shit.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. And I turned that off because I think I was thinking about film in a different way. I'd already taken my very prestigious college courses at a community college. And I was just like, hey, shut the fuck up. I'm turning this shit off.
Yeah.
The other one was clearly a product of people trying to fuck with me, and it just worked. They just got under my armor that day, and I went, you know what? Fuck y'all. And then,
But then one of the audience members saved the day by putting on what was that kung fu movie? But I'm blanking on the
Kung
name
Fu
of
has never saved the day.
No, it was it's the
don't-
Ricky O.
Oh, okay, Ricky O, yeah. Well, we did watch that after. Yeah, that was a good day. I thought you were going to say Kung Fury, and I was going to be like,
No.
fuck a Kung Fury. Very controversial thing.
Oksana, it's time for your work. Your life's work, which you deliver to us every week. And this is the start of your segment. You have a new theme song. Your new theme song is this.
The Utah Monolith.
Don't laugh at that.
I didn't believe you.
Update, you have a new theme song.
I got one. Can
Your
I play
new
one?
theme song is this.
That's a lot of Sasquatch jizz.
Oh boy.
Can
Russell
I
has
try
one.
one?
All right, go.
Cusco like Carlton, on no pump lemonade in my iced tea. Lemonade in my iced tea. On no pump lemonade in my iced tea. Lemonade in my
There's actual music playing underneath this too.
Wait, what?
The betting music.
Oh. I don't listen to the show. I'm sorry.
It's chaos, baby!
Oh my god.
I don't, dude, that was.
The Parsh people.
Go to the Bone Zone.
You're a big dick.
He's not even a real baby. He's like 43. Motherfucker doesn't pay taxes.
This interstellar comet.
The price was right. $1.
He's a pedophile.
Oh boy.
That worked. I say we keep that. Let's open the show with that string of audio drops.
String of dead sound clips.
Oksana, what movies are we not going to watch?
Hey, you watched Voyager.
That is true.
Violence Voyager.
That was a good movie. So this week we have two movies that are actually going to be playing in limited theaters, opening this Friday, the 16th. First time in a long time. The first one is In the Earth.
Pass.
Yeah, I don't know how
I'm in.
I feel
I'm
about
down.
it. As the world searches for a cure to a disastrous virus, a scientist and park scout venture deep in the forest for a routine equipment run.
All right. You only veered off the road a little bit there.
Yeah,
We're not.
let's not review
I
my
know.
reading skills.
Why I like that. I think that's a good bit.
So, In the Earth,
Good job.
In the
there's a
Earth.
guy holding an axe. I feel like this is the better of the two posters.
This is Ben Wheatley. Randy, who's Ben
No,
Wheatley?
that's some chick with their eyes whited out.
Ben Wheatley.
You did Free Fire.
Yes.
Oh no, High
Kill
Rise.
High
I
Rise.
did not like High Rise.
Yeah, y'all didn't like High Rise, right?
Nah. Can we use that as a drop?
So, In the Earth, so limited theaters opening Friday the 16th. Also opening on Friday the 16th. I don't know why this title sounds familiar to me. For the Sake of Vicious comes to select theaters.
We talking Sid?
I mean, maybe it was released to streaming during lockdown. I don't know. An overworked nurse returns home to find a maniac hiding out with a bruised and beaten hostage. When an unexpected wave of violent intruders descend upon her home, it becomes a fight for survival.
Hmm.
I mean,
His motorcycle helmet. And
I mean-
demon.
the masks. I don't know, maybe the masks are why it looks familiar,
Wait.
or
Wait, we had a banger of a fucking tagline.
nothing good this way comes.
Oh, what? You were gonna back off it?
No, I don't know how to use the mouse.
So I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming to streaming the following Tuesday after it's out. So on the 20th, 420.
Hell yeah. Do we got a 420 thing here?
No.
MMA.
Yeah. So limited theaters Friday the 16th, streaming 420. So spend your 420 with a home invasion.
I'm down. Let's go. I'll vape up with you, Clark. Let's go watch it.
The Shining is a good movie.
For any questions, queries, concerns, or comments, please direct us at podcast at overlooktheater.com. Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, the other one. Find us, like us, comment, tell a friend, tell an enemy. It's not even my business what you do on your own personal time. The Overlook Hour is available on Facebook as The Overlook Hour. The Overlook Hour is available on YouTube as The Overlook Theater. The Overlook Hour is available on Instagram as The Overlook Theater. And the Overlook Hour is available on Twitter as The Overlook Hour. Find us, like us, comment, tell a friend, tell an enemy. Randy.
Yeah, we did it. It's only 3:26. I'll see you guys at the Balboa for Minions.
See you next week. They come every night. Never should have moved next to a graveyard. This week's 2 Sentence Horror Story brought to you by Colin Johnson. Also, last week was brought to you by Colin Johnson, and I just received a verbal whipping for not mentioning that last week's 2 Sentence Horror Story was brought to you by Colin Johnson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Don't let it happen again.
Fuck Randy.
Dude, he's still worked up from last week, man.
I had eye contact locked with him, and I wasn't gonna smile. I'm like, no, we got to put our foot down, and he hit the fucking button. That's my weakness. That Alberto clip.
Look, he's Creepy's going through some stuff.
He's a dick.
Well, look, he got burned on an NFT because the NFT is a non-fungible token. Well, he actually got a fungible token.
You don't even know what you're saying.
So he was a little upset. And he's like, "Where's the end?"
Also, thank you, Colin. Two-time guest, director of Holy Shit, That Was Scary Part 3, The Cloud.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just worry. We do this dumb thing, and we get people to write them, and we don't even say who wrote them. Honestly, he's probably happy we didn't mention who wrote it. But
We were talking about, for whatever. What were we watching earlier this week? And I was a little high, and then I came up with a theme song for Holy Shit, That Was Scary Part 3 of The Cloud.
oh, I have no idea.
It was pretty good. It was a pretty good theme song.
I have no fucking idea. What was it? YouTube?
Do you understand the genius that just flows out of me that's just lost in the ether? That's life. If we could just catch it, just catch the little butterflies, Randy.
When were we hanging out? I feel like I haven't
Also,
run
cut
into you
that
all
out.
week. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. See, that's why I did have the rule to where
Wait, was your camera on?
my camera was on the whole time. My camera has been on for about 3 hours, and my
What
phone is down to
the-
23%.
Now
It was around 80%.
that was your punishment.
What the hell?
You made that strict rule for yourself.
I know, but the reason why I have is because what's this application called? Letterboxd. So I need to access it.
Boo.
If I could access it through a computer, I
You
would.
can.
Can I?
Yes, it's actually better on a computer.
Oh. Well, I'm watching a baseball game right now.
He reached over and he has an Arizona iced tea. He had some sort of cake on a plate. He has a thing of Oreo cookies, cake flavored. And he pulled his phone out, and I was going to lash him much like Creepy Clark for that, except I noticed that his screen was recording. What?
I know my camera was on.
I was trying to use this as evidence, dude. Everything that came before we hit record.
Oh, he's trying to pull a Randy.
Also, Russell, I looked up on my letterbox to figure out what we were watching a film that we may talk about this week or we may talk about later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm guessing by that setup, you don't want to get into it now.
Well, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, okay.
Randy, what's up, babe? How you been?
I've been all right, man. What's going on over there?
I don't know.
What'd you do yesterday?
I went to the movies yesterday, actually. What did I do besides that? I don't necessarily remember.
What'd
Cool
you eat?
invite.
What'd you eat, bro?
Fucking dick.
What did I eat? I had a slice of pizza after the movie. That was cool.
Where?
So I went to the AMC in Emeryville, and they have a Pizza My Heart next door.
Oh, my apologies.
It's not great, and it's like a $6 slice, but I don't know.
I know. Not, dude, I'll do Pizza My Heart when I'm in a pinch.
Yeah.
And that generally is when I go to the Stanford that's across the street.
It felt good to just like have a slice by yourself after a movie, though, you know.
Getting back to normal, huh?
A little bit. Still haven't had a vaccine, but I'm going out there, man.
Now, what's the deal with that, Randy? Are you trying to get the vaccine? I know I went to Walgreens earlier today to get some toiletries, and there was a line around the store. I assume people were getting the vaccination.
Mm-hmm. I'm not eligible until the 15th, which will be, I think, the 15th when this airs.
Oh,
Look at that, bro.
What do you mean you're not eligible?
Because I don't know. I don't apply to any of the pre-existing conditions or like essential work or whatever.
Randy,
Yeah, you are. You're on a podcast, bro.
yeah, you're essential.
Yeah, that's true. I should have got one months ago.
Everyone is saying they have a pre-existing condition.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not checking that shit. So
Yeah.
Also, the advice I got was walk up and tell them you're homeless and they'll jab you. Or honestly, what real people are doing is just call the fucking place and be like, hey, at the end of your day, if you have any left over, can you let me know? And that's how people have been getting it because they're still throwing the shit away.
Yeah, true. I've heard that, but I don't know.
Randy.
I'm not in a hurry.
So many of the dumb people we hang out with have already gotten it.
I
There's
know.
no reason you shouldn't have.
I am also not in a hurry, though.
Well, I don't want the mark of the beast.
Like, I'm fine. Whatever.
I heard they draw 3 6s, and that's where they inject you right in between.
We all know you're an anti-vaxxer, dude.
Oh, dude, I haven't had any. That's why I'm so intelligent.
I just don't do anything. That's why.
I get mercury vaccinations, dude. Break thermometers, put them in a needle, inject them into my eyeball.
We had a God, I shouldn't tell these stories. more weird high school teachers.
All right.
But there was a chemistry teacher in high school that would let the students play with mercury.
What? With their hand?
Yeah.
Weird.
That was a weird laugh you just had. What, you're acting like you knew about it?
Look how
It was like a beach ball
look how
size?
slimy it is.
That's not real.
Yeah.
He had a tub. You just dip your hand in. He's like, go ahead, dunk your head in.
No, it was in a little jar.
We had a jar of mercury.
Yeah.
Also, my favorite indie band.
Jar. Jars of mercury in your head.
Oh.
Train.
Now, before we recorded,
Ready, cut that up.
we recorded Chuggy.
Oh my
Are we ever going to drop that?
Drop it in the toilet
No, it was great.
and flourish.
It was your idea. It was perfect.
It was great. Well, I mean, look.
Again,
Russell's-
Chuggy who survived the mall shooting.
I knew
Just
it was
for everybody new.
Charles Charisma, aka Chuggy, who has been on this show more than I care to admit.
Two
is
times?
live stream. He's a live streamer on Twitch, and Russell, because he can't just work in silence, he always has to have something going. So he threw on Chuggy's thing right before we started the intro. And Charles was what game is he playing? He's building something in the forest.
Valheim.
Valheim, I've just been told.
Yeah.
Which, from what I can tell, is he's a construction worker in the 1600s. That's what. Yeah.
Actually, it's about a dead Viking who's still trying to make it to Ragnarok in between Afterlife. I don't know. It's fucking dumb.
Or that.
Yeah. And you have to build houses along the
And
way.
Charles was interacting with someone he went to high school with. And they were talking about the good old days, as per Russell's request.
Yep.
And that conversation went nowhere.
It was pretty good.
And Russell said something. Now, I don't know how Twitch works. So Russell said something about you have acquired some amount of tokens, and because of this, you can tell Chuggy to sing something.
Yeah, when you are following a person on Twitch and you're in their stream, you accrue a type of currency that you can use for whatever things they make up. Usually it's like unlock an emote, and like on your phone you get like a new type of emoji you couldn't use before. But other people do creative things, like Krayshawn on her live stream. If you do one of the token unlocks, she'll roast you. That's like one of the things she does. And Chuggy, he doesn't really roast people, but he has a make me sing a song for 2,000, which is very low. And I had enough. And I'm like, dude, we're hooked up to a recording system. Let's get this.
And you were like, what song is good for Charles? And the first one came to mind was Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas. Now, I chose that because A, it's a very popular song, B, it's a very lame song, and C, I figured those two things would equal something Charles could do. I did not, however, expect him to know every word of this song, and his physical affectations, he was into it. And now, of course, Charles immediately threw up a front. He's like, oh, fuck you, Russ, man, you're making me do this. But inside, you could tell he was so excited because Chuggy is a performer. He wants to perform.
Yeah.
And when he saw that the Black Eyed Peas, he even in the middle of performing this karaoke of the Black Eyed Peas, Charles even said, man, the Black Eyed Peas fucking slap. He was so into character.
He had his Fergie bucket ready.
He is the Fergie bucket. He got all the Fergie in that bucket, and then he spewed it all on us.
My favorite part was I turned off all our mics during it, and then Randy's just like, how much are we listening to?
I didn't know he was going to do the whole song.
He didn't. I think he cut it.
He did 93% of the song.
Also, I loved when Clark was sitting here scrutinizing the video. You're like, did he pull up a fucking lyric video? I'm like, no, dude, he's clearly building a house while he's rapping.
No, I was just very impressed. And there hasn't been many times where I've been impressed with anything that Charles did.
All right, let's book him as a guest again.
All right.
We'll do Charles karaoke. You could do karaoke battles.
Chuggy-okie?
Chuggy-okie.
Chuggy-okie.
A little chuggy-okie.
That sounds very Japanese.
Oh, I know.
Chuggy-okie.
There goes our show again.
I know.
All right. Anything else up top before Randy talks about the things he already forgot he did this weekend?
I don't know. Oksana, you got anything?
I did go on a jog yesterday morning too.
Oh, did you track it?
Yeah.
How far?
It was like 2.5. Not far.
Any incline? In the hills?
No, this one was mostly flat.
Did you mask up?
I did, and I got, I think, just over 10 minutes a mile. So I'm getting there.
Fuck. In a mask? God damn it.
Now, Randy, let me ask you this. You're running around. What is your footwear situation?
I got a new pair of New Balance.
Oh, Randy.
They're good.
Randy, that's for the alt-right,
They're
Randy.
good shoes. I don't care.
Yeah, they're good shoes
I don't care.
for people that want to belittle other people of color.
That's not what I'm trying to do. I just like their shoes, and they have an outlet near my parents' house, and they were on sale.
Oh, the Dublin Pleasanton outlet.
What they call the San Francisco premium outlets now, even though it's like
Yes.
45 minutes from San Francisco.
I know.
So weird.
That place is, man, I worked there on a Black Friday for a pop-up store.
Yeah.
What awful experience that
You
was.
sound really cool when you string all that shit together.
I know. What a colorful life I've lived. All right, Randy, what you got?
So I mentioned I went to the AMC in Emeryville. I went and saw the new movie Voyagers by Neil Berger. It's a PG-13 adventure sci-fi movie.
Now, Randy, before you get going on this, you went to an AMC in Emeryville, which is on the opposite side of the bay. Does that AMC, do they have concessions?
Concessions were available, yes.
Oh, did you partake in their hot dog program?
I did not, no, because I was saving up to eat afterwards, even though all I had was one small slice of pizza.
Randy, you're back in the movies, man. Get a dog. You're not going to get a better movie dog than at the AMC.
I've heard that. I don't know if I've ever had an AMC dog, so next time I'll get on the A-list now.
A-list is the way to go.
How much are they paying you for this spot?
I like their hot dog program.
Now tell me a little bit more about it.
Sure. They've got a fix it your own way thing. They've got like 5 different options that you can put on your hot dog. You can do like flaming hot Cheetos. You can do a chili cheese. You can do, it's been over a year. They got other options. Sauerkraut, jalapenos.
What do you do?
I will go sauerkraut and a brown mustard.
And what? That's it?
That's all you need.
No hot Cheeto?
No.
I'm
not a
interested.
child.
I want to do the hot Cheeto.
I would do a hot Cheeto before I had underarm hair.
Oh my! Think outside the box, dude.
No, I'm in the box. I like the box.
What's in the box?
Sauerkraut and brown mustard is delicious inside the box.
All right, Randy, get back to Violence Voyager.
So yeah, Voyagers, we got a star of Yoga Hosers, Lily Rose Depp. We got a Ty Sheridan and a Colin Farrell. And without trying to ruin too much, it's essentially Lord of the Flies in space. So essentially, they find out that Earth is fucked, and we need to go elsewhere to colonize. So they find a planet that is habitable, but it's going to take 86 years to get there. So essentially, they start breeding humans, specifically designed to go on this voyage. That'll be like the first people there, and then they'll have kids, and then their kids will have kids, and then those will be the people that colonize the planet. And then, yeah.
All right, wait, Randy, stop. Okay, so just so I understand. The people that they got on the ship, they're expecting their grandchildren to be the ones, so their whole life is just in servitude for their seed to occupy this planet, and they spend their whole life on this stupid ship.
Exactly. And they were raised in a lab, essentially, just so they wouldn't know, like, what the outside world was. So they were, like, raised and trained to, like, essentially complete this mission by having kids and having their kids and grandkids on the new planet.
I certainly was not raised inside a lab, but I definitely didn't know what the outside world was going on.
I feel you, brother. But yeah, this movie is a PG-13 movie, and it's very safe. The trailer looks like it might be kind of horny. It's not that horny. It's no Claire Denis high life. There's no fuck box in the movie. So,
You're making us want to crack up, just so you know, Randy.
hell yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks good. It's decently filmed. I don't know. I don't like highly recommend it, but trying to get back to the movies. So it looked decent, and yeah, it was worth a price of admission. But I wouldn't watch it again.
You're like, this shit ain't very.
It's only
horny.
got 29 tomatoes. Dude.
Yeah.
27 tomatoes.
Just dropped.
Oh man.
They heard Randy's review. It went down too.
So Randy, where did this go wrong? Was there just not a whole lot with the story here?
Yeah, I mean, Colin Farrell and Ty Sheridan, they're both good, and Lily Rose Depp is pretty decent in it as well. So, I mean, the acting is fine, but it just turns into Lord of the Flies, essentially, and you kind of see where it's going, and it's not, edgy at all. It's PG-13, and apparently he has, like, an interview where he talks about, like, what stuff had to be cut to make it PG-13 that I haven't looked into yet, but I don't know.
The horniness?
Yeah, it could have been hornier for sure.
Yeah, it totally looks like it should be like a Claire Denis film, but it
like a Larry Clark in space or something.
That's what I was wanting.
Well, I mean, visually they're signaling a like thoughtful, slow cinema, but now I'm watching Oksana go through all the images. It looks like it's a fucking 3-part tween novel that's going to be stretched out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this for the young adult crowd?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, if they're trying to make it PG-13.
Yeah.
Also, had my first experience with some shithead teens in the theater as well. Finally, so that's what going back to the movies gets you.
What'd you do?
What happened?
They were just like not super obnoxious, but like they came in late, like probably saw another movie, then snuck into this movie, and then they were just like, I don't know, like making noises during the movie and kind of like laughing, and like their cameras like flashed a couple times, shit like that.
They doing a photo shoot?
I don't know. I saw some sort of cell phone screen. I was like in row 3, and they were behind me a couple rows. So I don't know. There were some lights that weren't intended to be in the theater.
Now, how many hoodlums we talking, Randy?
I think there was like 4, and then there was maybe like 5 other people in the theater, and it was a huge theater.
So we think teens, high school?
Yeah, probably like teens.
Dudes, girls, mixed?
I don't know. I didn't get a look. They came in late and left early. You know what I'm saying?
Non-binary. I understand. Did you think that you were gonna have to take violence?
No.
Were you gonna have to Odenkirk them?
No. When have I ever taken violence?
You're gonna turn into violence, Voyager.
Randy, you made a film where you absolutely took to violence.
I didn't make the film. I acted in it because as a professional actor, that's what you do, baby.
Well, as a person who was able to watch the film, I think you did make the film.
Yeah.
You made it, Randy. You made it for me. Also, I cannot help but imagine 2 kids sitting directly behind Randy throwing popcorn at the back of his head.
I would honestly just move and like not even say anything because I'm a coward.
Nah, this is new Randy, dude.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know if he's changed much. Is there a new?
Oh, Randy, you've changed. You're a booze hound now.
True.
Like when we see you, Randy, let's be honest, your skin's looking a little jaundiced.
Is it?
So I don't know how hard you're hitting the bottom.
I'm trying to get more sun right now, baby.
I feel you there. I try to get a little sun on the weekends. I think I got a little sunburn.
Speaking of being a booze hound, I am drinking a beer right now.
What kind?
It's a Drake's Pilsner.
Drake's? Get over Drake's, dude. Drake's is
they're good. They're right down the street. And by right down the street, I mean like a mile. Also, you can take that down the street. Voyagers, you can take that down the street.
Not that horny.
What? Wait, explain that. What?
Who's horny down the street?
Because he said Voyagers, you could take that down the street.
Yeah, not horny enough.
Oh,
get that off my street.
I sign off.
Another movie you can
on Randy Street.
Another movie you can kind of take down the street is a movie called Doors that I watched this weekend. Yeah.
Oh, Oliver Stone.
Correct. It's a sci-fi movie as well, so I watched 2 sci-fi movies that I didn't care for this weekend. This is, I think, is an anthology film technically, which I didn't know going into it, but essentially the summary on IMDb says, without warning, millions of mysterious alien doors suddenly appear around the globe. In a rush to determine the reason for their arrival, mankind must work together to understand the purpose of these cosmic anomalies. Wow, I don't know why I didn't know that word.
And Anomalies, the French film.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I think the fact that this was a anthology movie didn't work for me at all because it says like, you know, they're trying to discover like why these doors are here. By the time like any of the stories get interesting, it goes to the next story.
Oh.
Yeah, and like I don't know, the writing was kind of all over the place and like tonally it didn't really work for me. And yeah, I don't know, like yeah, once you started to like get into the characters that were like in each piece, it was like, oh, then now it's over in like 5 minutes and it's going to like a new thing.
So the anthology, did it take the form of like we walk into a door and reality is different?
Not really. There were just like 4 different segments of like people dealing with them in different ways.
Oh, dumb.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that movie that Eduardo Sanchez was a part of. What was that? Portals?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That was another lame sci-fi anthology.
Yeah, and like in the summary it says like in a rush to determine the reason for their arrival. I feel like that's very misleading. Like I don't know. I didn't feel like we found anything out. Like there was some cool ideas and like the visuals actually is probably the best thing in this movie. It's like a very good looking movie. And there's some cool like effects and some cool like sound design and like mixing and stuff, but I don't know. As a whole, it didn't work for me, but I think it's like a $5 rental on the old VOD over there.
Dude, you went straight Rotten Randy. Both the films are trending down. It is a bear market in Randy's living room.
Yep. That's a new segment, Rotten Randy.
Randy, what were the back-to-back letterbox scores for both of these films, respectively?
I think they're both 2.5.
Oh, 2.5. That's not bad. What kept them from being a 2, if I might ask?
I guess technically, because they both look like really well-made movies, and I didn't hate like the experience watching either of them. But yeah, no, it was just like a little underwhelming, both of them. I feel like 2 is like, I gotta really dislike it for a 2 or less.
Yeah, but you know, the movie's looking good. A lot of that just has to do with money, which is why I don't, you know, when you compare it to like an indie film that actually has a good story but doesn't look great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
So what's the 2, Randy? Carnival Magic?
Probably. Maybe lower.
Dude, the cinematography was great in that film. Also, Randy, let's go to Ghost Town Brewing. You were talking about a brewery. I fucking like all their shit. I want to go over there.
I'm down. Yeah, it's not too far.
You can't do nothing without me, bro. I'm coming.
No, I had a... Fuck, what was that beer I got for isolation? Cryptid. It just had a VHS like logo of like a Loch Ness monster on there. They get it. I love them.
Hell yeah.
All right, all right, here you go.
No.
Do you love cryptids or crypto more?
Cryptid. I would love a cryptid crypto.
Cryptid.
Mint that token. Make it fungible. I'm down.
The Shattuck Cinema is open now too, so maybe we can make a day out of it.
I was like, is the California open?
Oh, you know, I didn't check, but maybe.
I
think.
Wait, which one?
I think Landmarks. Well, actually, that's false because
Shattuck is where we saw Digging Up the Marrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was the. Well, no.
California is where we saw Tarantino.
What story were you about to drop?
No, I was going to say where I forced y'all to go see.
Okay,
Tarantino.
okay, yeah, that cryptid beer is good. Okay, sorry, Randy, I had to bring that up because I know it's down by you too.
Yeah, it's super close.
All right, Randy, you got anything else bad?
Nah, that's it.
This weekend, I decided to take in a film festival. That film festival was completely curated by myself and also the director because it's one person. I did a Tim Sutton.
Okay, there you go.
I wanted to see Funny Face. by Tim Sutton, as Randy talked about it last week. But I was like, I haven't seen all the other movies. So I wanted to see all the other movies in chronological order, Randy. And that's what I did. Starting off with Pavilion, 2013, by Tim Sutton. Then we go to Memphis, which I think is a year later, maybe 2 years later. Then that goes in to Dark Knight, which we've talked about a lot on this show. Probably a little bit more today, as we also talk about it in the interview. Then Donnybrook, then Funny Face. That is Tim Sutton's filmography. Here's what I'll say, man. I think my problem with Donnybrook, let's start there, because the first 3 films are all, I don't know if he's ever said this like a trilogy, but they're all very similar in the style of it. Tim Sutton is a master of minimalism. That's what I'm going to call it, because all 3 of these films are all very different. However, the aesthetic is the same, and you as a viewer feel like you're a part of what's happening on the screen, because it's not a documentary. However, the way that he shoots his subjects and sometimes even interviews them, you as the viewer feel like it's a documentary, even though everything is constructed purely by Tim Sutton. So that's why I think that people were overly harsh at times with Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets, because they sort of ran into the same thing, even though on their behalf they went into more marketing as a documentary opposed to where Tim Sutton isn't. So I'm sort of digging myself in my own hole that way. But regardless, those 3 films are all very similar in that aesthetic. And then with the 4th film he made, which came out 2018, Donnybrook, that was an adaptation of a novel, which he wrote and directed. And so this is the first time where he's gone into more of a traditional narrative film. And Donnybrook is, I would put it at the number 5 if I was to rank his filmography. And I understand but people not liking Donnybrook because it's a very grim movie. It's essentially a Greek tragedy that's, wrapped up in this deep fried Rust Belt, tough times, fentanyl, crystal meth America. So that's why I sort of in the interview sort of compared it to Antonio Campos's Devil All the Time, where you've got a guy who has a distinct style and he has procured a fan base that enjoy that style, and he sort of goes away from it. So I think that even though, Devil All the Time is a better film than Donnybrook. Donnybrook was just too one note. It was too grim. Randy, you also watched Donnybrook this weekend, yes?
Yeah, agreed. It's definitely my least favorite of his.
I do look. It looks beautiful. Like
Yep.
he I believe he's got the same cinematographer on all of these projects. At least in the first 3, he does. It looks great, and I'm fine with a grim movie, but this one, it just didn't have. It was too monotonous in its destination and pursuit. It just didn't offer me enough anything else. Frank Grillo is tight though. Frank Grillo, can he be a good guy? Also, Russ, your boy from Bottle Man. What's that movie
Bottle
called?
Man?
Bye Bye Man.
Goodbye Man. Bye Bye Man. The other one.
Empty Man.
Empty Man.
Oh my god. Bottle Man?
Well, they do the bottle.
Spoilers.
Call the
yeah.
bottle.
Do the bottle.
James Badge Dale.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
Nope.
he dies very anticlimactically. See, that scene alone. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, so regardless, I think Funny Face is the newest release, which sort of got me down this whole road with Tim Sutton. And Funny Face is sort of the combination of a traditional narrative with his minimalistic style. So I think that he sort of found this happy marriage where in the first 3 films, there's no recognizable actors in these films, and he's taking real life situations and sort of putting his own spin on it. But however, as the viewer, we're wondering it seems very real. And so I think that's part of the mystique that he has built in the first 3 films. And with Funny Face, we sort of get that. However, we do have recognizable faces. Johnny Lee Miller plays this gangster mayor who has daddy issues. And then we've got Rhea Perlman and Dan Hedaya and Victor Garber. So like these are all recognizable faces. So, it's movie town. It's not, however, the best part about Funny Face, and believe me, I really enjoy Funny Face, and I think it's one of his better films. My favorite part is reading the user reviews of Funny Face. One just says, my favorite one just says, "This is a bad waste of a mask." He didn't even do anything. And the mask was really good.
The scenes of it like falling are so good too.
Yeah.
We talking Jim Carrey?
I don't know. Jim Carrey mask is perfect. I've never seen that movie.
The way, because I've been listening very closely to your Tim Sutton run through. Again, he's a director that made a huge impact on me in such a way that I have yet to watch anything else he's ever made. Because I do that.
Same. I did the same until 2 days ago.
And your pitch kind of felt like highbrow Larry Clark, where it's kind of like, what are we doing? These are non-actors. Is it scripted? It feels natural for them.
So I watched 5 films, so I'm trying to
I get it.
Paint the best I can without going into film by film. So I'll say this: watch Memphis, and Pavilion for sure. Those are the first 2. Pavilion is just over an hour long, and it's his first film, and it's about teens.
Okay.
And this kid is moving from upstate New York to Arizona.
Yeah. It feels Larry Clark.
Pavilion. Yeah. No, for sure. No, Pavilion absolutely feels Larry Clark. Memphis does not. I love Memphis.
Okay.
So Memphis is
it doesn't even look like it. I just pulling it up.
Willis Earl Haley, I believe is the man's name. Who is the main protagonist in Willis Earl Bell, excuse me. Willis Earl Bell is Beale Street, even though it's spelled differently.
Ally McBeal Street.
This guy is an actual musician. The film opens up. We are in a TV studio. They are filming a television magazine show. And
wait, what?
That's what you call them. Like an interview show is a television magazine show. Yeah. So Willis Beale shows up and he's got his cool guy musician hat on, and he's just talking to the cameras and he's like, "Is this for television? Is this for television?" Is it? Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, that's cool." And then he sits down, and the interview. Now this is a real interview.
Yeah.
And because they're shooting the film of him filming this television show, and the interviewer says, "How do you feel about, with your new record out and now you're a star of a feature film? Did you think this would happen?" And he said, "Yeah, I did. I envisioned it and it happened." And then he goes into this insane season 1 True Detective sort of Matthew McConaughey space log, and welcome to Memphis. Like we're going okay, because this guy's a maniac, and it's fantastic. We see the slow devolving of his psyche and his confidence, and is becoming homeless, as it seems. But nothing is heavy-handed with Tim Sutton. Like everything is sort of like you figure it out, which I love. So
now that one, again, making a critical proclamation based on photos I just saw on IMDb. That read Sean Baker to me. Is it like Florida Project-esque where like the location is a character?
Well, not really. It's
Okay.
not so much. He is very much just also the surrounding cast is very, very good.
All right.
There's a guy who he helps out a lot, and there's a reveal, so I don't want to say anything about that. Man, Randy, I really thought that you had seen this because I thought that you had recommended it to me years ago.
If I did, I completely blacked out and forgot.
That's because you're drunk now.
Memphis is great. I also think Memphis is Robbie's favorite. Robbie's a big fan. But
Hey, what the fuck does Robbie know? He's stupid.
Russ, I think you would dig Memphis. I think Memphis is a good starting point. Also, with your Larry Clark fascination and teen cinema as well, I highly recommend Pavilion.
Yeah, Larry Clark to Sean Baker.
Also, when I was watching, I was Instagramming all of this as well because I have attention problems. And when I posted that I was watching Pavilion, Mike Keegan said, good movie. And then I posted I was watching Memphis. He said, another great movie. So Mike Keegan was a fan of Tim Sutton.
That was it? I thought you were going to post another one. He's like, garbage movie.
I think
Donnybrook, he's like, you fucked up.
I think he lost interest. Which I understand. I mean, it was, posted 5 straight movies, so we can do. Yeah, but this was great. I think watching it in chronological order was the only way for me to do it. I was going to skip over Dark Knight, but I was like, what's the point? Why not? I figured because Dark Knight was sort of the sort of the end of that, Tim Sutton before he went into, a more traditional narrative with Donnybrook. So I figured I had to watch Dark Knight.
All right, what was the
it was great.
What was the schedule for the Clark Little Film Fest? Like, what time did you start?
Well, I broke it up Friday and Saturday. So
okay.
I watched
a 2-day event.
Yeah. Friday night, I knocked out Pavilion and Memphis, and then yesterday was Dark Knight, Donnybrook, and Funny Face.
Cool.
All right. That's it. I also watched Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. 3.5 stars.
Okay.
Reba McEntire plays a mermaid named Trish.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to check that out.
Also, Reba McEntire looking good. I mean, it's probably CG Reba McEntire. How old is Reba? Oksana? How old is Reba McEntire? She's almost like 65 years old. Age?
66.
Pretty good. That's pretty good for 66. Look at that. I wouldn't take that down the street.
He's vaping while he's talking right now, Randy, just so you can
so cool.
Really linger in it. Yeah.
Again, not my fault. You blame Tito. All right, Russ Dog.
Well, I had my own film fest, and I watched 28 movies that were all way smarter and cooler than everything you watched.
Your insecurity is just,
I don't know,
oozing all over the place.
You sucked my energy out. I'm like, ugh.
Why?
Because I watched a movie that you need a lot of energy to talk about.
Okay.
Oksana, you ready to pull it up?
Mm-hmm.
I watched a movie. Again, we talk about our third chair. R.I.P. Justin Coote. He's not dead. He's alive. He's doing well. He's got a family. And in 2017, he interviewed a dude named Timur, who had made a video for his band that featured a Mad Max style world where they were killing pig people, high action. And we open up and there's a truck. It's got some pig people in there. They get out, they get shot in the head. Then they open up the back of the truck and there's a large amount of large people in the back. Because in this world, the human pig hybrids are eating humans and our characters are fighting them. Well, at the time he was talking about how he wanted to turn this into a feature film. He did a Kickstarter. I think they got like 11 grand. They were looking for 100. That was in 2017. Well, yesterday, while we were waiting for Chuggy to come over to watch no, that was after. I think we were waiting for somebody to come over so we could catch up on Drag Race. we had time for a feature film, and we jumped on Amazon Prime, and I saw fucking Bullets of Justice on there. And I went, wait, that's done? That got made? And on the cover, they had the one and the only Danny Trejo looking more corpse-like than ever, but in the style of they knew what they were doing. And I'm like, we got to watch this. And everybody's looking at the poster like, I don't know, man. A blind watch on Amazon Prime. We've come over here and we've done that before, and rarely does it pay off. And I'm like, no. Justin interviewed this guy 4 years ago.
This isn't a blind watch.
And they're like, and? Like, we've talked to a lot of people. And I was like, dude, trust me. Let's just go into it. Oh, man. This movie fucking rips. It's so good. It's incredibly entertaining. It's an hour 20. And oh man, how would I pitch this film? It's got that, it's a little bit like VelociPastor, except that movie's got a lot of heady jokes in it. This one, well, it's kind of like Machete, except I'm not a huge fan of Machete because it's also got like a lot of jokey humor.
Yeah.
This one is more like what are some other movies like Machete? Like the
Thanksgiving.
No, action that are doing like the retro kung fu.
Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite's a good one. It's a lot like Black Dynamite, where the action in this film it's enough. You would watch the movie just to see it. It's a spectacle on screen. Also, there's a ton of gore, and there are a lot of pig people, which is important if you're a horror fan, because I think one of the things that people ignore about Star Wars is just they really double down on making that world feel populated by its fantasy. This movie feels like it's a fucking forgotten town in the middle of Australia that's just been like in real life left alone for decades, and they brought a bunch of extras in and put them in pig suits. It feels so big as a movie that I'm shocked I haven't heard anybody talk about it. The comedy is there. They have a lot of visual bits, and they also make fun of the narrative of actually the genre of action. Like, it took me a minute to realize that their hyper titillating sex scenes were actually a bunch of body doubles, which, having said that, now when you go into this movie, you're going to be like, how did that ever fool you? But the editing is so seamless. And fuck, who's the lead? Is that the actor or the writer or the director?
Timo, that's the producer.
That's the dude that Justin talked to. This motherfucker, dude, it's so good. Clark, I think you would dig this movie. Have you been going through the photos up here? Okay. Also, I guess this film came out of that music video I mentioned earlier. I failed to mention that it went viral in Russia.
Oh.
So if you go on YouTube, you can find it. And I think it's been taken down and reposted, but it's got like 285,000 views in Russian, like it's overdubbed. I haven't actually found an American version of it, but well, what's Rotten Tomatoes saying?
Now, Russell, Oksana, can you scroll back down?
Oh, we're rotten on this one.
Bobby Lapierre says this is one of the worst films of the year.
Yeah.
1 out of 10.
I don't know how you watch this movie and come away with that. He probably, so again, we watched this with Terrell and Chuggy, and I think that's an important gauge because Terrell is a horror fan. He's been watching indie horror for decades now, and you start to build a bias based on the material element. And when the cover has a giant center fucking Danny Trejo, that always reads low studio, where not a lot of money. They had enough to get him in there. He probably showed up for 2 days. He's gone, and the rest of the film is an afterthought. And this movie's a little bit of that. Danny Trejo's not in there a lot, but what they have him for makes complete sense, and he's good in it. Oksana, am I wrong with any of this?
No.
What'd you think? Give us the female perspective of Bullets of Justice.
No, don't put me on the spot.
Did you like the piggies?
Oh, all the pigmen looked great. The special effects were great. You can tell that a lot of it, or at least some of it, is probably green screen, but
oh, for sure.
It does not take away from the movie at all.
I mean, we open this film with a shootout in a derelict village and a pig on a jetpack comes in, starts fighting him from the air, and then as he's running away, his jetpack opens up and there's a little man in it who continues the fight while they're turned around. It's fucking great.
Smart.
It's not a film that you laugh at. It's a film you laugh with. It is on Amazon Prime and it's streaming. I know all y'all have Amazon Prime. Watch this one. Also, fucking incredibly breezy. Dude.
It was shot in Bulgaria. I mean, that's why I don't know.
So I haven't.
And Kazakhstan.
I need to reschedule my creative week. This is the thing I was talking to Oksana about. I have a work week Monday through Friday. Very grateful to have the weekends off. My creative week is like a fucking day off though. Like, because Friday we do drag race and Saturday I play D&D. It's kind of my creative weekend. And then today is my Monday. I should have done more research on this shit because I'm sure there's a lot to know about this. We do have that interview Justin did from 4 years ago, if you want to look it up on the Overlook blog. But I'm going to try and get this director. We got to talk to this fool. And Clark, if you got time during the week, we should watch it. I'm dying to rewatch this movie. Well, yeah, I know. I knew you'd be like that. You and your highbrow Tim Sutton Film Fest. Now, for a Randy, I wouldn't recommend this one for you. I know you don't like to laugh, and honestly, if you chuckled, it would catch you off guard.
You said pig on jetpack. That's right up Randy.
I mean, this movie's gnarly. It's fucking gnarly. There's a lot that goes on. It gets gory. It gets hot. I think
horny.
They have body doubles in here that... Did you get that, Oksana? Like, did you notice?
No.
Halfway through the movie, I was like, wait, that dude doesn't have those abs. And normally in like fucking Black Dynamite or something, they use that as a punchline, the kind of cut. That's the tone of this movie. Is everything is played straight. And like, this is cool and we believe it. And the thing is, it is pretty cool. It's also fucking ridiculous though.
All right.
Dude, I mean.
How's Danny?
Oh, he's good. He plays a gravedigger mentor character.
Is he barely in it?
He's a flashback. He plays our lead's dad, who is clearly a different race, and it doesn't bother them because, you know, when we're in the apocalypse, we don't worry about these things.
Also, did you say the tagline of this film?
No. What is it? I'm telling you, dude. Oink, oink, motherfucker. Wow. That changes. Man. Scroll through. Do we have another poster? That, honestly, that would have been a warning to me if I jumped into it.
This is the original one from the music video.
I know we don't get any audio through your computer. Can you just pull up the music video so Clark can see it while I'm talking at him? Like I don't know if you noticed, but that the two kids there.
Yes,
we have both genders. One of them has a mustache.
Yes,
it is not the little boy.
Correct.
That is a MacGuffin in the film, and I would say that's about as jokey as they get. But I kept thinking of oh God.
This?
Yeah, play it. Just so he can see the visuals. Because I really think I don't even have to sell it at all once you see the quality level. But what the hell is that movie I'm thinking about? Strange Nature? Was that it?
The frogs?
Where we had another female character with the mustache that we all were like signed. No, it wasn't Strange Nature.
Strange Wilderness with Steve Zahn.
No, it was
Happy Medicine.
No,
production.
we had our buddy on here. Fuck, he filmed it in Austin, and they tore down everything right after.
Oh, yes. It's not strange. The name of the picture is... Fuck. I've got the...
Jim Hickox?
It's Jim
It was
Hickox.
Jim Hickox. I can't remember the name of the movie, though.
It wasn't Bad Biology or anything, was it?
No. And the thing is, I always group those films together.
Yeah, because they're kind of like...
Whatever. Jim, we've done this show for too long. I can't remember shit. Yeah. Randy, you know what, Randy? Give it a try. You'll turn it off in 10 minutes, and then you can...
Soft Matter.
Soft Matter. There we go.
I always have a hard time remembering that title for some reason.
But Oksana, what would you think? Thumbs up?
Yeah, I want to rewatch this.
You know what? Everybody's getting the jab. We're all getting the vaccine. This is a movie
the Fauci
that you want to watch with the group. Randy, was that you? there a plane outside your window?
I live right underneath the freeway, so you might be hearing freeway sounds. It's hot in my house today. I had to open the window.
Yeah, it's a little hot here too.
Freeway sounds.
Also, Oksana, you're playing the trailer instead of the music video.
I asked you if it was the right one.
I know, but I was busy talking.
All right, you got anything else, Pep?
Honestly, I don't think I watched anything else. I could talk about Drag Race a little bit if you want
Nope.
that. Well, we had Randy's girl on there, Scarlett Joe. She came this week. The Queens were doing a green screen movie where they get shrunk, and she tuned in via TV because, COVID, the whole thing, the pandemic. And she gave them advice on how to act via green screen.
Mm-hmm.
It was cute.
Well, she knows she is Black Widow.
Yeah, that's what they said. Oh, Black Widow.
And she's dead.
And who is she dating, Randy? Because some dude
She's not dating. She's married to Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live.
Jost?
Colin Jost.
He looked like a boring fucking white dude.
I like Colin Jost.
He's funny.
sharp.
He popped in and made a very Randy joke, and then everybody laughed. And they're like, oh, and I was like, who the fuck is that dude?
He's Wunderkind writer at Saturday Night Live.
Excuse what, Nazi?
Please get that going.
I know. I just heard he's alt-right. We gotta cancel that fool. Probably got blood and issues.
I like Colin Jost. Not a Nazi. All right.
Hashtag not a Nazi.
All right. So enjoy the interview, which we had with Christian. Russ, what'd you think of that interview with the sweet little baby boy? 19 years old.
I think I'm stressing you out because I get too comfortable in these interviews now. At one point, I tried to cross my legs on my chair and sit back. And when I pulled my shoe up, I think I stepped in poop. And
What?
I just, yeah, dude, you want to see it? I was sitting up here like this.
Where in the house you stepped in poop?
Check it. I was like this, like kind of like chill. I'm like, we're just talking.
Yeah.
I fancy myself a wannabe intellectual, so I'm just like, here, let me make up some shit about Twin Peaks. Especially when you're talking to a 19-year-old that's already made something better than we could ever do. So here, let me take my shoe off. I pulled it up. Oh, wrong shoe. I pulled up my shoe and I went, is that poop? What do you think?
Yeah. It's probably poop.
But look, it's like all up on the side and shit.
I think it's dirt.
I hope it's mud.
The reason why I want to say it's poop is the clumps look poop adjacent. The smell's
You wanna
probably
smell it?
gone. You probably won't smell
The clumps
shit.
is funny, by the way.
They's gone. That's what I just heard.
So enjoy our talk with Christian. Randy, take us home.
Yeah, he also gave me an idea for a good double feature with Diff'rent Strokes, The Bicycle Man, and then Bicycle Thieves.
Randy, if we book that at a movie theater, will you intro it?
Sure.
Wait, let's just make that happen. I don't care if anybody shows up. We'll go Little Roxy. We'll get Randy up there to string together a introduction to the Bicycle Thief.
Oh, the tandem bicycle double bill.
Oh,
Dude.
Tandem Randy?
Randy Tandem.
Randy, yeah, there's something there. We'll get it sponsored by the brewery down your street, Randy.
No.
That's the best thing you've said. All right, goodbye.
Yeah. No, I'm in a weird mood
Why?
because I just watched Girlz Night again.
Thanks, Christian.
Oh, no worries.
What's up, Christian? I'm glad you're here. Have you checked out the show as fair warning before talking to us now?
Yes, I have. I've listened to quite a few of your guys' episodes. I remember the first one I listened to was the interview with Slasher Victim 666.
Yes.
Being one of the most wild interviews I have ever listened to. So that was very entertaining, as Real has been a film I've been trying to find for years, because I found it when I was much younger. I was kind of obsessed with the poster, and then then a year like last year, like I wanted to like find the movie, but I couldn't find it anywhere for a long period of time. It was not available, but now it's free on Vimeo as I'm aware. So I'm planning to finally watch it soon. But yeah, no, I saw you interview the real guy, and props for him for like being in character for that long. Like I can't even commit that long to the bit, so good job on him.
So, Christian, we've talked to Slasher Victim 666 multiple times via talking like we're talking to you, interview form, you know, audio, also email. Every single time it's in character. We don't know the guy. We don't know his real name. We have an idea, but we can't confirm it. It's just him as this character. That's all we know.
Prepping for that episode was really weird too, because I knew he wasn't going to break. And me and Clark, we sat down and we talked about it. Like, well, what are we going to do? Because, you know, Christian, you joined us for F 24 hour, right?
Yeah, I did watch that film festival.
All right. One of the things I like about the film fest we do, for my own little plug and patting myself on the back, is that we really allow people their own like kind of platform to build their own narrative. And we showed Antrim. What was that? Up 2?
I was up
2, which, you know, is a movie almost made for a film festival circuit. And one of the things, like the premise is it's a faux doc wrapped around a newly discovered film that every time it's played in a theater has killed people, or like the theaters.
Oh yeah, I heard about that film. Yeah, it's on Prime too.
Yeah, and so that film, dude, streaming, I don't know. The context is all weird, and I don't think it works very well. But in a film fest, dude, it's great. Even if you buy into it even a little bit, it really works. And I remember the director was talking to us about a film fest they played. I think it was Brooklyn Horror. I'll put him on blast. I don't care. Where after the screening, he went up for a Q&A, and he, you know, in that format, he's not the director. He's a producer who found the film. And people were getting mad that he wouldn't answer technical questions about shooting the film. And I think it really burned him.
It's a very San Francisco thing.
Yeah. And I mean, New York is, you know, our cousin on the other coast. Yeah. And he got really burned by it. And he kind of like, I feel like momentum for the film from him slowed down. So when we showed it and we leaned into it and we told people we laced their popcorn with drugs, he got really excited. And when we were going into Slasher Victim, it's like, you know, it doesn't help anybody if we try and like make fun.
No, I would never do that. No, again, if someone's in character, let's have fun. I want to have fun. So that's the only way to approach something.
It is a little rough. It is hard to have fun with that if you're not prepared, though. And you really got to let them lead in an interview format where most of the guests that come on the show are kind of trying to catch up to us.
Yeah,
it was a really weird. And I'm interested I find it interesting that that's the first one you listen to.
Yeah, because like Real is like the out of all, like I was just searching about like titles and whatnot, and like Real was the one that like just really stuck out because that was like when I was trying to find the damn movie, and I think that's when I finally discovered it was actually free on Vimeo.
Now, did you go to his website? Because I think Real 1 is free there, but he's also got a book that there's only one copy of in physical format.
Yeah, they like he wrote like in like quote unquote his real blood or some shit.
Yeah, I think and you can download that for free. Did you get that?
No, I didn't.
Dude, what's wrong with us? Now, I think that book is the coolest thing ever. It's 50 films that inspired me, written in real blood by a dude who will never break character, for free, and I haven't downloaded it yet. Like, what am I waiting for? I think about it all the time, too.
I know. I feel like I know. I just like feel like okay, if you're gonna be like, oh, I wrote in my own blood, ooh, like give me like the physical thing. Give me the physical thing to like really spook me, you know?
Yeah, not an NFT of your blood.
Well, I feel like it would compromise the medium or the format which he chose, because it would be like, you know, Xeroxed fucking blood. It wouldn't be blood.
Yeah,
I mean, you can print it out.
It's like synthetic weed, man.
Yeah, it's salvia. Who wants that shit?
I don't know what that's at.
Yeah, and plus, if this dude's like actually like so much into character that he's actually writing his own blood and like making multiple copies, that dude will probably fucking die. Like,
now I think, you know, Slasher Victim is a living metaphor for kind of like the shallow, fame-driven monsters we become on social media. So I don't think he wrote it in his own blood. I think it'd be out of character. It'd have to be in his victim's blood.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, were you able to catch Reel 2 at the fest?
Unfortunately, no. That was like the one I wanted to watch the most was Reel 2, but I couldn't catch it, unfortunately. I tried to catch as much as I could from the festival.
Yeah.
And there's some really joy. I loved Murder, Death, Koreatown. That was probably my favorite out of the entire festival. The I Am Sophie supercut was wild as hell because I wasn't aware of the RNG beforehand. So like it was like a whole new trip for me, and I think like as a movie it works so much better.
Yeah. Now you're a man who made a film based in like the parameters of a medium, like the sitcom. And me and Madeline talked a lot about I Am Sophie because I almost thought it would play better if we broke it up and allowed it to live in its original format. Because I mean, to cut that thing down to be a feature, we basically removed the tail end. I believe in, like YouTube videos, they kind of like ring out and they have that very distinctive, like, oh, watch these other videos.
It was what, 2-hour runtime?
Yeah. 2 hours with the cut down.
Yeah.
And I don't know. What do you think it would have? How would it have played if we would have left in its original like individual video format?
A reverse Snyder cut, if you will.
There you go.
I don't know. For me, like why like the feature cut worked so much was that like I was getting this like dreadful sense of like repetitiveness with like the intros and whatnot. Like that was already nightmarish seeing like her stupid YouTube intro over and over and over again. And like it created this like extra sense like, okay, something's gonna go down. Something's wrong. And like I feel like if you just kept it like playing it throughout, it kept repeating these things, it got me more nervous that something might pop up, which when shit hit the fan in that movie, when it does, it's just so much more effective because I went through excruciating YouTube bullshit and just like waiting for something to happen. And finally, just like things like just like turn upside down real quick. So for me to have that effective repetitiveness was what really made it for me, and what made it probably like my favorite experience out of the festival, and seeing like the whole thing unfolding.
Now, where are you located?
I am currently living in Vancouver. I used to live on the island.
Vancouver. Do you know a gentleman by the name of Steve Cosmic?
Steve Cosmic.
Dude.
Rings about what is he made again? Because I know there's a film festival, Fake Blood. That was like literally filmed in Vancouver Island. It filmed in Langford, where I used to work at.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to find this guy.
So Steve Cosmic is a guy. See, at the simple question, who is Steve Cosmic? But the answer is much more complicated than that, Christian.
Okay.
But when we do a lot of deep dive, Amazon Prime.
Found him.
Okay. So this guy did Russ, can we call it a film? Sweater Girls?
I think you're talking to the dude that would call it a film.
Okay.
Girlz Night and Sweater Girls could be a double feature.
Oh, let me tell you, that's a home run of a double feature. Yeah, he did something called Sweater Girls, and it was about
I can't wait to hear what you say it's about.
Basically like how women did in the 50s with the pointy boob thing. It's mostly that. But it's done in a very unique way.
Yeah, like that Metropolis broad on the cover of that movie.
Yes, very. It's his take on Metropolis. But see, he also did Bikini Babes Countdown.
I don't know any of these. I'm actually shocked I found him on IMDb.
No, he did a short called Romeo and Juliet with herpes.
Okay.
Now, I think we're misrepresenting Sweater Girls, because to me this reads like a dude who made a real movie got called a pervert because he is clearly, and
I don't judge.
Then he tried to like shift into comedy, because if you look on here, Sweater Girls comedy cold read, Sweater Girl comedy COVID comedy.
COVID comedy? Jesus fucking
A
Christ.
Sweater Girls COVID comedy.
I fucking hate it. No, so Sweater Girl, we watched it mainly because I think Clark was really turned on by these girls in sweaters with the pointy boobs.
What are you gonna do?
And it's one of those things where it's kind of like a fashion piece, and it's just awkward. They shouldn't be on film. You know, we get real Tim and Eric vibes, which we all enjoy here. And then it cut to them in somebody's kitchen, and they're sitting around and they reflect on the video they just shot, which has nothing. It couldn't be more shallow. And they spend a lot of time in this kitchen talking, and then we cut back to the street. And I believe they're in Canada too. Vancouver, right? That's where I didn't even know Vancouver was an island. So pardon me in my geography.
You can't name 25 of the 50 states.
No, there's Vancouver, the mainland, and then there's Vancouver Island.
So is he on the island?
Is he on the island? I gotta watch the movie to decipher.
Yeah, what I know he was by a bunch of water.
Well, if you remember, we watched Sweater Girls with Lee and Chris, our Canadian friends, and Chris had spent some time in Vancouver.
That's right.
And I believe he confirmed that this was the mainland.
Okay.
I do pay attention sometimes.
You know, I can't find it right now. It was on Amazon Prime, and a weird cut, like a short, weirder cut, was on YouTube. I'm gonna send it to you, Christian. I think you'll do.
Please do.
Anyway,
Please do.
Steve Cosmic, we really latched on to him and learned to love him because after watching this weird voyeur rampage through somewhere Vancouver, at the very end of the movie, there's like there was like a pan, or somehow it revealed who was behind the camera, and it was a very grotesque old man, and it just flipped everything we had watched.
And he had New York Football Giants socks on.
What the?
Well, it felt like three girls who were just kind of fucking around, and then you're like, oh no, there's a ringleader, and his name is fucking Steve Cosmic.
Steve Cosmic.
Yeah, we got to send that to you. Wow,
God,
what a tangent.
Ever heard of the filmmaker Lucifer Valentine?
I do know him.
Yeah, of the Voyagers trilogy. He gives me like the same vibe for some reason.
Oh man. Okay, do you have the Voyagers trilogy?
Yes, I do.
You don't have to be ashamed. I also have it.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things, I've thought about this a lot, was, if people don't know, Voyagers trilogy, it's actually, Christian, how would you describe it?
Okay, how I described it, how I pitched to my buddy because I wanted to finish the trilogy. I really rewatched. I've watched ReGOREgitated Sacrifice and Slow Torture Puke Chamber back to back last night.
Rad.
And how I pitched it to my friend who hasn't seen Vomit Dolls, aka the only good one, was their avant-garde fetish films.
Ooh.
And particularly the first one is very much an avant-garde artistic piece that just happens to be a fetish piece. While the other two films are like straight up like gore porn.
Yeah.
So that's how I would best describe it. And also basically all the films are like made by like the most mentally insane director I have ever discovered.
Now, Lucifer Valentine, is he faking it? I can't tell. I don't know much about him.
Oh no, I think that the dude's like very genuine. Like if you ever read the interviews,
yeah,
they did with some people, and to be honest, I'm not really comfortable just like quoting just like casually what he said because they're really fucked up.
Yeah.
He is a really deranged person that like clearly just like loves seeing like all this like fucked up shit in like a weird pleasure sense. And especially do whatever the hell he wants is like his like main actresses. And like this is all the stuff you can look up. Make sure your parents aren't around or your roommates or that you're researching Lucifer Valentine because it's gonna put you in a very, very deep rabbit hole.
Yeah, Lucifer Valentine, he's interesting. Anybody who gets into a battle with Stephen Biro over the context of their film, like the content, you got a character.
Biro was trying to edit him.
Well, no, Biro put it out. He did the trilogy, which I own, and I will admit that I have a little friend out here who likes to remain anonymous because he's the one that showed me like Unearthed, and he brought me into the Cat 3 world.
Is his favorite letter Q?
No,
okay.
Actually, I don't know. No, he's super like left. You know, the thing is, he he's the type of dude who like hides a few of his movies because if a girl ever comes over, it'd be detrimental for her to stumble upon slaughtered vomit dolls.
Just got to find the right girl, dude.
But I will tell you, man, which is the second in the trilogy?
ReGOREgitated Sacrifice.
So in that movie, we get a beautiful moment with the Saska twins.
Oh boy.
They don't like it when you bring this up now. I mean, for obvious reason.
Yeah.
But again, like Christian put it beautifully. It's kind of like art house porn fetish shit. And they're on a bed with this girl and like, you know, people are topless and they're like kind of fighting, like touching. And one of the twins hits her with the phone in the face. And I'm talking a rotary phone. And that's made an impact on me. I love that moment. So, and it's one of those things where you're like kind of creating this like fake environment and everybody's playing around. And then a real phone connects with the face and you can hear it. It like makes a noise like nothing else did.
Yeah.
And it changes the atmosphere in the room. Dude, actually, Clark, you might like these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, have you heard how Lucifer like literally filmed these? Like, he literally like his film sets were literally just parties.
I believe
like,
it.
Yeah, like no joke. Like there'll be like a bunch of people that are not actually working like as a part of the crew, just be there to like hang out to watch Lucifer just filming this.
Yeah, that makes it really weird. I mean, you know, with August Underground, I can understand how those films are kind of like a release. And it's kind of like, I got to let this dark energy out. I didn't get that vibe from here. And then there was a controversy with this documentary, right? Black Metal Veins. Like, wasn't part of that staged?
I tried to watch it. I did the worst mistake. I was with my I went back to the island with my best friend, and he thought it was a great idea that if we got high on edibles and watch a disturbing movie. And we watched like 5 minutes of it, and it almost put us into a bad trip. So we just like stopped and like we watched like Veronica instead, which was a much better choice. But
dude,
yeah, but like Black Metal Veins, that one I'm planning to finally finish too. It's like I watched a little bit more, and again, I haven't gotten that further into it to say it's rather staged or not. But at least like my final thing I'll say about Lucifer Valentine is that like though the dude's a bastard, there is nothing like his movies. You cannot find an other Lucifer Valentine. And like as you say, it was August Underground, which I have seen the first one and I wasn't very impressed. It's like, yeah, cool, you're doing all this torture shit, whatever. I don't care. But Lucifer Valentine, he does it in a way because like how you said it was like it's like, oh, just release like their anger or aggression. Lucifer Valentine, he presents these things in a way that's like casual. Not like it's weird to say, like casual in the sense that like what he's showing makes sense to him. Especially if you read the interviews and like all the fucked up shit that he's into. He always like says these things so casually, he never makes it dramatic or theatrical. He's always so casual about all the messed up shit that he has done. And I get that same sense when watching his movies that like all the things that he's portraying on screen is just like are things that are amusing to him. And as a recommendation, just watch Vomit Dolls. That one's like actually good. ReGOREgitated Sacrifice, okay, and then Slow Torture Puke Chamber, just a huge waste of time.
It's funny too because you think of a trilogy like this made by a interesting dude, and you would think they'd be free of like the standard horror franchise problems. Yet each film feels like they're trying to up the other. And
precisely, yeah.
Right, you start to roll your eyes, and I'll tell you that's the exact same problem with August Underground. The first one you get, and it's like, you know, if I found a real movie and it had filmed somebody being murdered, like if it was actually found footage, this is probably what it would look like. Like a kind of disgusting dude doing shit I never really wanted to see, but I watched anyway. And then in part 2, he introduces like a love interest, like he's there with the female, and it really feels like the outside influence of critiques of how misogynist that first movie was. And I feel like the only real response you could give is, yeah, that's the point. This movie's supposed to be vile. And I'm a dude. And this is, you know what I mean? That's the product. Yeah. Where instead he reacted with, well, now there's a girl involved. And it's like, what world are we in now? And then it's also a Christmas movie, which is
Oh,
Always fun. Yeah. Have you watched August Underground, Clark?
no.
I think you were made aware of it before me
Yeah, well, because I'm fucking cool, dude.
because you worked at a video store in Mississippi.
Let me tell you something. You know all the underground stuff there, baby. Not true at all. We didn't even have porn, which is good.
Really? You didn't have a
The company did in certain stores, but not in my location. Thank God, because I had to work in a couple stores that did have adult entertainment and not fun. Cleanup involved.
no.
People go in there and jerk off.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's in one of Lucifer Valentine's videos.
Oh yeah. All right. Well,
Didn't work.
close to home.
Powers.
Of course.
that Christian, how old are you?
Oh,
How old I am? Oh, I'm 19.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I turned 19 March 3rd. So last month.
Now, Christian, let me
Wait,
follow
are
up.
you joking? I can't tell.
No, I'm literally 19. Yeah.
Randy, you're supposed to vet this shit. We're gonna get arrested or something. We're talking about fucking Lucifer Valentine for like 20 minutes.
Hey, if someone's getting arrested, I'll be one arrested for talking about Lucifer Valentine. Okay.
No, I think this is fascinating because when I was 19, I was just getting into film.
Really?
Yeah. And now that, that's why I'm wondering, like, what's your journey, man? Like, who? Because here's the thing. When you get in, for me, when I got into film, I think working at the video store in college certainly helped because in high school, I just like to go into the movies and you start to learn a couple things here and there. But, every weekend, me and my friends would go to whatever horror movie was out at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
So that's essentially what happened, on the weekends. And then, it sort of grew into, a love and a passion. But so like you being a young guy, what sort of set you on the path where you are now?
That's a great question. I would have to. Yeah, I have to give really like why I'm basically here to talk to you guys. I have to basically thank my best friend because we're gonna go all the way back to literally daycare. Daycare. That's where it started. Yeah. My friend was already getting into film. He wanted to make movies, so he had this like little camcorder, and he'll always force me to act in them. Every single goddamn day, he always called me over to act, and usually it was just to like throw shit at me for his own amusement. But yeah, we just kept doing it for so long, and like I was already thinking about a bunch of other different things. Maybe I'll be work construction or whatever, but then like I kept being in these movies and just kept being the actor. So an idea sparked in me. It's like, hey, what if I make my own movie? And so I then proceeded to basically make movies by myself to try to understand how it was like for my friend to create these projects and start them. And then that just like created like a whole spark. It's like, hey, I actually really love this. And that's when I started like take film super seriously over the years. I started watching more and more movies. There's so many movies that are just like influential. Like I would say a big one would be like The Dark Knight. Like the opening scene alone is like what really got me to movies. Like, yeah, I have to make them. Like the opening scene, I still think is like literally like the best thing ever filmed.
Are we talking Tim Sutton here?
What?
Or Christopher Nolan?
The Dark Knight.
Oh, okay.
The Dark Knight, yeah.
No, it's funny.
Yeah, not Dark Knight, yeah.
Have you seen the Tim Sutton one?
Yes, I have seen Dark Knight, yeah.
Dude,
loved it.
You're on it. What'd you think of that one?
I loved it. I thought it was great. It was a really good captivation piece of like the shooter anxiety during like especially the early like 2010s. And it definitely kind of brought me back to like when those shootings were ramped to like how people just felt like very like scared that something bad was going to happen in public, which made like its very mumblecore approach just work so much better. Because I usually hate mumblecore, but Dark Knight just makes it work of capturing that feeling in a certain time period that I could really relate to. But yeah,
Dude.
Dark Knight was terrific.
Christian, so check this out. We saw it in the theater, And
Oh
on the
no.
way there, because we're fucking terrible people, we were just walking up the stairs and we're like, what if like a dude showed up in a Batman suit and was as a cosplay? And we're like, yeah. And then he had a gun. And then we were like just kind of laughing. And we went in there and sat down. And I'll tell you, man, it was fucking uncomfortable. Like I felt like an idiot being like, we're about to watch this in the theater. This movie that's all about like what you said, the anxiety of shooters in the 2010s. And man, it was fucking terrifying.
It was. Yeah. Dude, I actually
Yeah, no,
watched it
absolutely.
yesterday
That's why I brought it up.
because I decided I was going to watch all of Tim Sutton's films in one go. So I had well, actually not mini because I watched all 5 of his films. I had a Tim Sutton movie marathon this week.
And that was your 4th time watching it?
3rd, I believe.
Does it hold up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say I think Memphis is number 1. Then probably, I don't know, I like Pavilion a lot too. Pavilion, and then Funny Face, Dark Knight,
Damn, it's low for you.
Donnybrook.
Did you check out Funny Face, Christian?
Funny Face. That also? I remember hearing you guys talking about that on one of the other episodes. And I was really curious into watching it.
Yeah, Randy was talking about it.
Yeah, that I'm really hoping to watch whenever it comes out.
Yeah, I think Randy, what, last week it came out?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
It should be available in Canada, I would believe. I don't know.
Okay. Nice. Well, I'll definitely try to find it since, like, yeah, how you picture Randy really got me intrigued.
Nice. Yeah, it's good. I think Clark watched it this weekend.
Yeah, liked it a lot. Donnybrook is sort of Donnybrook reminded me of a lot of what was the Antonius Campos movie that Russell
Devil all the time.
Yes, where it's sort of a different direction for him. But because it was also an adaptation from a novel, and I Devil all the time over Donnybrook. But yeah, Donnybrook just almost.
Now, I think Dark Knight is a tough film for people to grasp, and I can't imagine when I was 19 giving a fuck. I probably couldn't even have sat through the film.
Oh,
But it's so confrontational with its mixed media approach. Like that Google Map scene, like it's so much you have to digest to kind of understand how terrifying that like brief moment is.
Mm-hmm.
And that relationship with the audience is like fucking, I don't know. I don't think it's a safe choice for a filmmaker. Yet
No,
I feel like you lean into that with Girlz Night. And I'm curious now with Girlz Night, we're doing I feel bad calling it a parody because I think there's a weightier word that would describe how artistic your approach is, but
satire.
A satire. Thank you.
You're welcome.
my buddy, the thesaurus over here. Girlz Night. When we're using the parameters of a sitcom, I was trying to think of what really made a sitcom. Like, what are the rules? Like, what is the Dogma 95 rules of a sitcom?
3 cameras.
I think, yeah. Well, not even technically. I think just thematically. And I think the 3 things that are most important to me are the theme song, the laugh track, and the moral. And I think those are 3 things that you tackle in the first 12 minutes of your movie. And I think that really helped me understand why your movie feels so chaotic, because we kind of get that sitcom arc.
You also need the neighbor.
Oh, well, I mean, I think that's part of the laugh track where it's the tribalism of humans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, we're not in this alone. And I think they have to appreciate the fact that most people are probably watching the show alone. So the most direct way to literally say you're not alone is to have a laugh track. And
That's interesting way of thinking about it.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it because laugh tracks are fucking great. But before we get there, I wanted to go through the beats with you, and I'm curious of how you decided to craft your intro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the intro. That's basically like this is probably the only thing I'll like explain to you about Girlz Night, because if you're making this interview just to find the meat of Girlz Night, I hate to break it to you, but you're not gonna find it. But the opening, the opening I explained to one of my buddies. He did a Q&A after the premiere of Girlz Night, and something we talked about. The intro, I kind of wanted to just like, or kind of like, sort of be kind of like, no bullshit. This is what you're getting yourself into. And this is to sort of like avoid, because I think the big struggle about Girlz Night was making it wholly original. Because like I'm not gonna pretend like I'm like the only one who did like, a sitcom parody. There's Too Many Cooks, some Adult Swim shorts, the work of Alan. His last tape starts with an R. Runnick something. People keep comparing me to him, but yeah, and like those very much have like like setups like, oh, everything's like squeaky clean and innocent, then things get disturbed and fucked up. I very much wanted to start off the film right away at the bat, making you uncomfortable, and already had that chaotic sense, and basically as sort of more of a warning of like, this is basically what the film's going to be like for like 53 minutes. So that was sort of my goal with that, of like not doing the traditional, like build up from like innocent, like, your classic Trojan horse.
Yeah.
But instead, like, there's no Trojan horse. This is where you get yourself into. Have fun.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you relate it to something like Too Many Cooks, they kind of take the opposite approach, and they use the intro, which is, essentially a never-ending catchy theme song.
Yeah.
Where, if you're of the era, like of the 80s or the 90s, you could hum a song and everybody in our generation would know it. It's kind of like this middle ground, and it's always uplifting, and it's kind of, it's almost like a emotional lighthouse or something. Like it's trying to like, it's tuning you in onto like, get happy. And you almost have like a Residents theme running through. Do you know the band The Residents?
The Residents? I'm afraid I don't.
Okay, check them out. Now
don't watch their documentary.
Yeah, do not watch the documentary.
The Theory of Everything. Theory of Obscurity. There we go. Theory of Everything is something else. I think that's Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Don't watch that either. He's dead.
No, but your music, first you have no lyrics and it's all horns. And I'm like, damn, you are making a strong statement there where like you just mentioned, you're like, this is not going to be Too Many Cooks. And now I know you probably heard the podcast where we covered it, but we had our buddy Robbie. This was kind of like his going away marathon. And what the fuck did we watch? We watched You, Me, Madness. Then we watched.
He was going away to Massachusetts, not jail.
We were sending him out on a raft and shooting fire arrows at him. Then we watched Willy's Wonderland, and then we went into Girlz Night. Now, do you think that's a good marathon lineup?
I would say after Willy's Wonderland, I think it would definitely be appropriate.
I don't. What did you like that film?
Willy's Wonderland. I haven't seen it yet, actually. I'm planning to.
Now, Clark loved it.
I thought it was fun.
How do you remember it now?
It's fun.
I forgot I watched it until now we got to check and see if I gave it a 3. So my ratings hold up.
I think I rated it way too high.
You did. I think you gave it like 4.5. And, thinking back on it, I'm like, I think, it wasn't made for the room, Willy's Wonderland. It wasn't made for us. And I think we wanted more. We demanded more out of it. And shifting into Girlz Night, where, I'm assuming you had a shoestring budget, but you did so much with the creative, like just the craft of filmmaking. I think it was, you gave me that opportunity to present a film and be like, hey, check out what I found, which I can't fully take credit for because somehow you got your film in front of Dave Jackson.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, what the hell would you do?
Oh god, I should be wearing my Catchick Blues t-shirt right now for this.
Are you a subscribe? Did you contribute to the Indiegogo?
Unfortunately, no. I found out about Catchick Blues last year, and I became a massive fan of it. It's like literally right now, I'm like my top 10 favorite movies of all time, and I'm looking over at my Catchick Blues poster right now. So like right now, I'm sounding like a fucking crazy fan, and like if Dave Jackson hears this, he probably never wants to talk to me ever again. But he's somebody I've been really looked up to. His movie like fucking devastated me as a cat owner who lost a cat. Like the movie just like spoke so much to me and just made me cry a river like both times I watched it. So I always looked up to him for that, and I really liked his short films. And just the fact that he made it was just like $10,000. Really just like really just maybe look up to him and a similar taste in movies too. So I remember like I'll email him sometimes for advice, or just to share something. And one time I was even asking if I could even use his footage for my movie, one of my short films that'll be releasing this year. And I remember after the premiere of Girlz Night and getting a overwhelming positive reception, which I did not expect the film to have. I just thought the feedback would be, Christian, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I felt confident enough that I could show Dave Jackson Girlz Night. So I emailed him, and he said that he'll watch it soon. And then like 3 months passed, and like I thought, it's like, okay, he probably forgot about it, whatever. And one morning, I wake up, I go to my phone, I casually scroll through Letterboxd, and I scroll through the very last film I could preview, and I see the Girlz Night poster. I'm like, oh, which one of my friends reviewed this? And I go and I see Dave Jackson's icon, 5 stars. And like I lost my shit. I was absolutely flabbergasted in like the best way that like this person I was looking up to like even like loved my movie. Like I was absolutely grateful that he really digged it and introduced it to you guys.
Oh yeah. When so Dave Jackson, we had him on the show. He's a fucking interesting character. He had moved to Japan when we talked to him, and the first he had to cancel our first interview because they were having a hurricane, and he was just
God.
like, "Yeah,
They have typhoons over there.
whatever."
Thank you so much.
And after that interview, I just remember thinking, how do people not know about Cat Sick Blues? Like it's such a fucking good, effective, visceral like slasher film, which you just don't think can happen anymore. And I realized he's got like a legit little cult following.
Absolutely.
One of the guys that helped us shoot the F24 hour, he saw me and Clark intro fucking Fear Footage 2 at a film fest. And we mentioned the podcast, and he said he casually opened it up and scrolled through. And the only reason he checked it out was because he saw we had talked to Dave Jackson. And he was like, oh, they get it. Like they're talking to cool people if they got him on there. So when I saw him rate a movie 5 stars called Girlz Night, and just that cover, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I think, did you answer me? I commented on there and I was like, how do I watch it?
It was me and my cinematographer, Connor. We both at you. And speaking of Connor, cinematographer, he listened to the Girlz Night episode. And I got to mention this for him. He was very upset when you guys didn't think it was a multicam setup, even though it was multicam. And he got very upset by that. He assumed that we only shot with one camera.
That's
Who said
fucking
that?
funny.
I don't remember that.
my cinema. It was like you and Clark. It was Clark and Randall.
Oh, Randall, you fuck.
Now I remember it.
Here's the thing.
I blame Robbie on this.
Now get him to record the meanest thing he could say in relation to that episode, and then we'll air it. And that can be his revenge.
That could be his revenge? Okay, yeah, I'll hit up Connor, let him know they can have his revenge on that.
No. Have him do a 2-sentence horror story where he publicly insults us. There we go.
What the? Dude.
We're running out of 2-sentence horror. Thank God. I wish that bit would die.
Oh, that's so fucking funny. Yeah, I'm super curious. Like, why did you put the film on YouTube?
Well, the reason why is because the thing about Girlz Night was that I tried to submit to festivals, and festivals really don't like me. Or more in this case, I realized with film festivals, if you try to submit a feature film, the odds are really stacked against you, because I have festivals turn me down because like it was just far too long. They could fit in their timeline. And like I was just submitted to like fucking like Sundance or something. I wasn't a moron. Like I was like going for festivals I knew would like Girlz Night, and they would not accept me because like either it was too long or they just didn't get it. And like, oh, sorry, go on.
No, I just, film fests. We're kind of fortunate that we deal in the type of film that we do, because whenever a film I think is going to be hard for an audience to take, I always just think of the format we're doing, and I'm like, well, none of these are particularly easy. And I think if you're doing like a horror film fest, something like Girlz Night might actually be too challenging for the crowd they're trying to bring in. But on top of that, I think your runtime is an issue, where when we book features, like, fuck a minute 30. Like, we don't need a 90-minute movie. I mean, what, Murder, Death, Koreatown was like 80. And the whole format of found footage, I think it actually benefits when it's not a like, you could just feel the beats of a 3-act structure, and we're doing like 45. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, there's a weird like purgatory of runtime.
45 is rough.
Yeah, I would say 45 to 55 is a weird zone.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I definitely learned that lesson the hard way, because like I probably spend like far more money on like the festival fees than on like the actual film's budget, which is like so embarrassing to admit. But like, yeah, it just devastated me. And like even the festivals, it was accepted in 2 festivals. One was a scam, where like it was called like the Things in the Basement Film Festival or something like that, where like it was hosted by these 2 brothers. And one of them was like lock the other brother out, so he could just accept like every single film that got submitted and just collect all the money. And the other brother was trying to cancel the film festival and say that his brother's a lunatic. and so like I pulled my film out of there, and like I remember like a month later they sent me emails like, "Hey Christian, you can submit back Girlz Night and like get 50% off." I'm like, yeah, fuck you guys. And then there was the other film festival called Planet 9 Festival. And I really hate to be critiqued with them, since it was hosted by lovely people. Shout out to one of the hosts there, Crisp. He is a great guy who absolutely adored Girlz Night. He gave me like his full like analysis of the film. It was super insightful, and he easily has my favorite outlook on the movie, and my favorite analysis of Girlz Night. So shout out to him. He was an angel. But how that film was, I gotta be honest with him. Again, no offense to Planet 9, but your setup for the film festival was a disaster.
Like, working online or in person?
It was online.
Okay.
And they played my movie, and right after the first kitchen scene with Sarah and Frankie, as soon as it faded to black, another short film started playing. And I got really mad because Girlz Night, I'll get into this more later. Girlz Night was originally meant to have commercials. But I decided to remove them, but only kept the PSA. But all the other commercials I removed. I'll get into more details later into why, since that's probably one of your questions. And so then I thought they were doing like a commercials thing with Girlz Night without me knowing. And I got really mad until after that short film was over. And then they said, "Oh, we accidentally ended the other one way shorter. Let's play it again." So I just replayed Girlz Night again, restarted it. And like, as soon as things got to the third act, they messed up the aspect ratio. And like, it's something like the whole film, it's now like the bottom right corner for like 5 minutes. And this is like during like, again, like the last 15 minutes, like the most crucial minutes of the movie. And like, it wasn't even like in a proper format. And like, it was so embarrassing during it, where they just grabbed the film and just like resized it as they were playing. Like, I wanted to scream. Again, Again, the people running these are nice people. Again, Chris, thank you so much for your insight. I'm so glad you loved the movie. And they also gave me a free t-shirt too after it. So they're great people. Definitely don't go out and, say that they're garbage because they're not. But I gotta be honest, how my film was presented, I was not very happy with at all. But hey,
I'm kind of shocked by that. Now, I mean, okay, so the fucking internet, man. Like I don't know the Plan 9 people, but good name, and venturing out into the online world for a film fest was fucking terrifying. And it's a thing that we ripped our fucking hair out about for months. We were cutting ourselves deeply in our thighs, weeks before, and constantly trying to reevaluate why we were doing this. And it's like we can program films and we go into a theater and we have a projectionist that, this is their job and their craft. Online, it's kind of like it's the fucking Wild West, and you're working with third-party companies, and and again, all the excuses in the world. The thing is, we did stress about it for about 8 months before doing our thing, and I'm a little shocked that you didn't find it interesting. I think your film is such a you're juking the parameters so hard with your feature, and then to see it just completely presented weird. I feel like that's a unique opportunity.
But it's his film and his vision, and when that's not portrayed, then that's a problem.
I think if you would have been able to see it with a group, or maybe watched it before in other platforms, and then had this one, it would have been like a weird experiment. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it when shit goes off the rails. Again, yeah, it's not a film I made. You're right there.
Exactly.
But how bizarre. Somebody who didn't know what this movie was, and they're watching it, and it plays the first third, and then it cuts into a short. Completely what was the short that it cut into?
It was about a zit monster. A woman's pop her zits, and then a monster made out of zits come out to her, and he pops the zits out of him. I don't know. I'm making it sound like a fucking Lucifer Valentine short film. Oh yeah.
Was it played for comedic effect, or was it grotesque?
I think it was comedic.
Oh, it was on me today.
Yeah, but the reason why I took great offense to cut into the short film, which I'll probably now explain the commercials bit, was that I originally wrote in commercials for Girlz Night. There's even on my YouTube channel, Killerbot Films, there is a deleted animation that was supposed to play after the first kitchen scene. But however, as soon as we start filming, I decided to abandon it because I found that commercials will, again, as I talked about, the great struggle of keeping Girlz Night original, will not try to branch off of the other films that try to satirize the sitcom or old tech feel like VHS, or in this case mini DV or shot on video. And I remember all the other films that did this, and WNUF Halloween special, I believe it's called.
Yes.
That film was made entirely out of commercials. Mostly out of commercials, an actual movie, just splice in there. And then there's Dead Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
Yep.
That has commercials too, and and not only would having commercials just ruin the pacing of the movie and ruin the tension and keeping you on your toes of what's gonna happen, but also it's if I do that, what difference am I? How different am I from the other guys that are doing that? Oh, funny, I'm imitating commercials from the 80s. Yeah, literally some fucking kid in a high school film class can do that. So I decided to scrap it because I just thought about how really just miserable it would be to do those and to include those, and just I thought it would just honestly a waste of time, and just it would just ruin the uniqueness of Girlz Night and that an experience that it gives to people. But as I mentioned before, there's one that I kept though, was the PSA that I found to be extremely important for the movie.
Okay, yeah,
because I think you made the right call. Because I think if you're going to leave in anything, leaving the PSA because that definitely works to the aesthetic of sitcoms of a certain era. We all remember the PSAs.
I think it actually ties. When I was talking earlier about your 12-minute mark, kind of hitting all the beats, I counted the PSA as the moral message for your film. But before we go there, I just want to mention Dude Bro Party Massacre is a movie that should be sold with a beer. That film is just made for pure comedy, and I think the commercials are just a way to get quick punchlines in.
Yeah, I don't mean to diss Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. I really like that movie.
Yeah, you know what? I thought it worked too. And on paper, I would fucking hate it. And I was actually shocked that I enjoyed that movie so much. Now, with WNUF, I think the commercials really lent into the found footage format there, where if we're really trying to buy the fact that this is a tape somebody made of a moment that a news broadcast company tried to erase from the internet, it needed commercials. The thing I hated about it was that they were fast forwarding, and then it brings into question who's doing that, because I'm watching the movie and I'm not fast forwarding, and they used it as a punchline for a commercial that played 3 times. That's my beef with WNUF. Now,
it's a joke.
I know, but
you don't like a joke.
It breaks the format. And
it's a joke.
We could go last week and have Zeke on there. I know, but it's format breaking. And, rules are made to be broken. I get it. Zeke, I hear you. Fuck off. And the thing is, with Girlz Night, I think if you had commercials in there, all the movies we've mentioned so far, they're always jokey. They're always made to be like, I don't know, like they're jokes. I think it would have shifted your film tonally in a direction that wouldn't have helped. Where your PSA, and even what I think the pig represents in your film is kind of like a creeping reality. And, the PSA marks the end of our normal sitcom narrative, where we have the intro, which is, anti-catchy, I think is a good way to call it. Then we get the meat of the show, which is, we get distanced from that you're not alone narrative with the laugh track. And it's really tonally challenging. And there's a moment that I think about regularly where I believe it's Sarah Smalls is drinking a glass of water alone in the kitchen, and the lights are off, and the camera just kind of lingers there. And it comes off of a moment where Frankie's doing karate and talking shit about her roommate. And it felt like a moment that should have had a laugh track because, it's played for laughs, except it didn't. So you're kind of like, does that mean it's like these are real emotions she's working through? And then we cut to Sarah down there with the glass of water alone, and there's nothing. We're just kind of left alone. And it is such a beautiful moment of existential horror. And then when we wrap that up with the PSA, which is clearly there's still problems here, even though you're doing this little warning. Our characters haven't even taken the advice. I thought it was grim. I love that, and it didn't read as a commercial to me. It really read as the end of an episode. So honestly, I didn't even think about commercials in this narrative.
Yeah, no. Thank you for that insight. Yeah, and laugh tracks is definitely something that I had a very clear idea for, that I had to convince people, since the people I shared the Girlz Night footage with and rough cuts, they always asked me to put in more laugh tracks, and but there's two or three times where I didn't actually elevate it, but then I got feedback from people who no, add a laugh track here. I'm but no, I don't want to. I really don't want to, because I don't feel like this is appropriate,
dude.
And
they're begging for the laugh track because it's a relief.
Yeah.
It works. And I remember when I used to watch Cheers with my grandmother, and there was a real episode and there was no laugh track, it used to fuck with me. And I'd just be like, oh.
But Norm still delivers. Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And I very much did want to give that relief, because they're literally I got feedback where okay, if I literally add a laugh track here, it'll literally ruin what I wanted from this scene and just make it just sitcom fluff. Very much this movie, you guys are correct that I want to make a movie that's that's purposely very challenging. I basically made this movie with many goals, but one of the main goals is I want to make a film that rejected the the easy understanding sitcom and just make something that was challenging. That was challenging and personally hard to decipher, removing that comfort.
Beautiful. I mean, it's funny. I hate Funny or Die. The channel. I don't know why. I think
your YouTube scrolling would argue otherwise.
And I'll tell you, it was research for this. No, it actually tied in beautifully. So Funny or Die, I don't recommend you check out their channel, but they do a series called A Very Special Episode. Do you know about that, Christian?
I know about Funny or Die. I used to watch them like in elementary school, but
so like 2 years ago.
2 years ago, oh, hilarious. No, I don't know about their new series though.
I don't even know if it's new.
It's not a thing. Is Funny or Die a thing anymore?
I don't know.
It's a thing.
Yeah, you're correct. I've rediscovered it.
Yeah.
I dug it up in the dirt of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a series called A Very Special Episode, and all they do is they truncate episodes of sitcoms and they do a VO, and it's played for comedy, but like the episode that came up on my feed that got me it's Mr. Belvedere, that episode where a kid got AIDS. And I was like, wait, what? So you watch it, and it's this sitcom in the 80s is trying to tackle AIDS, which was very new at the time. And the laugh track, it shows up in all of these moments where they'll have, I don't know any of the characters of Mr. Belvedere.
Yeah.
But one of them will be trying to articulate how his friend isn't going to school because he's come down with AIDS. And he'll say something cute, like an 8-year-old would say, and then there's a laugh track. And the VO would be like, that's uncomfortable. And it's like, yeah, but that's what I don't think people can process this shit without it. And I highly recommend you watch the Belvedere Kid Got AIDS, and you watch Diff'rent Strokes, the one that deals with the bicycle sale.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I've seen that episode.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, bicycle. Yeah, Mr. Horton.
Dude, you know his name.
Yeah, I know his name. Like, it was literally like an inside joke with me and my friend in middle school. We were obsessed with that episode with Mr. Horton.
Dude, now rewatch it having made Girlz Night. And think of how they use that laugh track. There's literally a moment where he invites kids over and he's like, hey, come in the room. And you know what? I'm going to get some stuff ready. Go ahead and read these comics. And they show him slide a porno into the middle of the comic stack. And then there's a laugh track. And we're like, what? Who the fuck is laughing at this? And then, they sit down, open, and it's like, whoa, look at this. And it's like, there's a laugh track. It's like, these boys aren't going to go home tonight.
I remember it was an episode of Diff'rent Strokes that actually kind of fucked me up. It was another like Mr. Horton like episode where like one of the kids get kidnapped or some shit. Okay. And Gary and like they had to like do like a sidekick work with Gary Coleman for him to remember the car that the kid was kidnapped in. And like, so they rushed up. It was like a 2-part episode, like the Mr. Horton episode. And they rush up to the hotel room, and they open up, and like, there's the kid there just like strapped and gagged on the bed. And like, I remember the room was lit up red. It was lit up red, and like, he's looking horrified, and like, it stops on a freeze frame of him, and that's the end of the episode.
Dude.
I wish I remember the title. I wish, because like I found that to be like a little bit like way more fucked up than the Mr. Horton one, because like that was already like a meme between me and my friend in middle school, since like he was obsessed with like a YouTube poop about Mr. Horton. So like he always found it funny, and like we all watched like the episode together. We're like laughing our ass off. So like we always found like a weird like enjoyment out of it because of the meme. But that episode, like, when I was watching Diff'rent Strokes, like, I just stumbled across it, and, like, I was, like, shocked of, like, how, like, graphic the visuals got.
No, I pulled up, I just put in Diff'rent Strokes, and, of course, Mr. Horton popped up right away. And I just went to images to show Clark, and, how you mulling over this?
So the bicycle man, he's a pedo, dude? He looks like a pedo.
So in that picture I just pulled up with all the little photographs,
yeah,
that's pictures of him with other kids naked.
I'm sorry?
And he's like, yeah, you know, boys, you can have a lot of fun if you just get naked. Like, here's me with some other kids. Yeah. And there's a laugh track. And then he tells one of them, hey, let's play, let's take some photos. And he's like, yeah, you want to be Tarzan? Take your shirt off. He never wore a shirt. So that's him posing in front of a plant with his shirt off.
What was going on in the 1970s?
Yeah. Dude, he pours his wine.
Yeah, I know. It very much like what the laugh track was, though. It's like, it's clearly like there to like, to give that sense of comfort for such like a sensitive topic and for such like, but like disturbing subject matter like that, and seeing those actions happen. And definitely like, you couldn't just get away with like no laugh track. You could have just like put no laugh track, as like it would be more appropriate to not have them.
Oh, that's
like, yeah, no, of course, yeah. But like with that, I know the sitcoms, and what I absolutely hate about them was that like of like comfort me like a baby with those things. Like, oh yeah, laugh. This is funny. Yeah, take your mind off things. It's not gonna make you really think about anything. This is just to waste my time here on Earth. Like, and like I'm not saying about the horrid episode. Like, I think the episode generally does a good job. And like I like the Diff'rent Strokes as a show. It's like one of the sitcoms I can actually tolerate. But like, yeah, at the same token though, that strong criticism I have with the laugh track is still very valid, and definitely it kind of shows that sitcoms are kind of like enabled to handle like serious subject matter. And I know there's probably like a bunch of different examples of sitcoms actually doing this right that I'm probably not thinking of. But like your average sitcom, like your Friends or some bullshit like that, like very much like it's old to like fluff reality. At fluff reality, your problems can be solved rather easily, and these things, they're not that big of a deal, you know.
Yeah.
Just, turn off your brain. Don't think about anything. Just waste your time on Earth. Why would you watch something good? You know, it's insufferable, really.
Well, also, it kind of like trauma in the world of an episodic show is so different from a show that has a through narrative. Because, Gary Coleman, he's been fed wine by a pedophile who's trying to, lure him in with his bike.
Yeah.
And, they deal with it. It's a 2-part episode. And then I'm sure Dr. Horton, he's gone. And it's kind of like it never comes up again. It's kind of like, it's just compartmentalized and dealt with. And it's not how trauma works.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, and like if they would do that, that would be too much. That would scare the viewer too much, that like bad shit can actually happen in reality, you know?
Yeah,
and
you
like
get kind of like a Rick and Morty or something.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of Rick and Morty as a sitcom before. I think I'm behind on it.
I know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you there.
Okay. Yeah, and like and it kind of like all goes back to what I was saying like before. It's like if they actually show like how actually like trauma works, that would be too much for the viewer, far too much. So like of course they have to just like purposely like fluff it up, and that's what all these sitcoms do. They're all meant to be just like escapist fluff, and like I'm not saying that's always necessarily bad. Like I remember like during like first semester of university, like it got really goddamn rough, and I was already like writing my next feature that I'm planning to shoot in June. That's also like a very graphic story, and so I needed some like light fluff. So I started reading "Don't Bully Me, Nagatoro," and like what I knew what I was reading wasn't like high class art. Like I knew it wasn't making me think of life a different way, but like it had enough of like like artistic like integrity and decency to like actually make it enjoyable. And I think that's the very important thing as well, is that like if you were to make something that's quote unquote just escapism, they like have some artistic decency, because none of these sitcoms do, because they're all to just really, again, as I mentioned, just to waste my time. So like,
well, everything has a place, and I think sitcoms certainly have a place, because I think escapism fluff is very important in the world that we have constructed for ourselves. We've got think about the average person, and we'll take America here for example, the average middle class family, the father probably has a job he fucking hates. He goes to a wife that he's fallen out of love years ago, and they're only in it for the kids, and the kids he doesn't understand. They're doing things he doesn't get. He's in a world that he just doesn't understand. Things are going by too quickly. So when he comes home and turns on The Big Bang Theory, he understands these telegraph jokes, and it's fine, and he is numbing his mind for 22 minutes.
Well, I also think it's also the surrogate babysitter too. It's like you could put on Diff'rent Strokes and hope that you're, and know that your kid's in good hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but probably skip the Visit Horde episode.
Well, it's very important. You got to learn to avoid the pedophiles.
Of course, yeah. But what Clark said, like, I've been given that point before. Because believe it or not, it's not the only time I ranted about this to people. But like, I find with that is that like of course, like when you have like a shitty life like that, yeah, like don't binge watch like the Vomit Gore trilogy or whatever. Like again, again, I literally admitted to like just start reading Nagatoro because I wanted some like fluff and like it. But like with that though, as I mentioned though, it had like artistic like decency that made me a joy. Like it was just like a slap together anime like manga. Like it was actually like the characters are actually thought out. It had like a really great art style to it. It was actually funny. So like I knew I wasn't wasting my time with it because artistically it was making me excited. And like I know saying that's definitely more of a me thing that has get me artistically excited. And with film as well, like if you have to like go to that level of use it as escapism from like your shitty job or in this case marriage or something, I don't know, then like it definitely should be a probably you could at least like personally connect with, at least make you feel better. Besides like watching Friends and like you feel it's kind of like like taking edibles. You're feeling good for like an hour, then like right after you're just back to normal and just moopy. That's basically what these sitcoms do, and like so many movies have done that to me. Like Punch Drunk Love is a movie like I always go back to wherever like I feel like so shitty about myself. Because like I'm able to really connect with Barry since Barry goes through almost everything that I went through all my life. All the issues that he has in that movie, I go through. And so to have that relationship that can like emotional connection with a movie and to actually relate that like that is that like it makes it worthwhile my time. It makes it worthwhile time that I'm able to like personally and emotionally connect to that. And that's as I mentioned, the main thing that frustrates me with a sitcom and what I'm essentially attacking with Girlz Night is that like I'm tired of the mindless fluff. Absolutely. And like yeah, I know I'm going like super hardcore on this, but
No, again, no, that's why you have your place and everyone has their place. Like we need you to hate these things because we want more Girlz Night. So continue what you're doing, but also realize that most people are stupid and most people don't want to look at anything more with a higher creative output because they don't understand that. Because they're fine with Michael Scott in The Office telling them everything they need to know about what's funny. And they're fine with rewatching the whole series 6 times. They're fine with that, and that's okay.
No, that's totally okay. I'm like, if anybody listens to this, like, think I fucking hate them for like watching The Office, no, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, I hate if I come out like sounding like super pretentious, but like. It's just something like I'm very like emotional. I don't want to say emotional, be super dramatic about it. Passionate, very passionate about of that good balance of like escapism and just of either actually being like like worth out better self or being a waste of time. Like that has always fascinated me.
Man, hearing you talk about sitcoms, you've got me thinking now. And Clark's gonna hate this.
Here we go.
You've got me thinking about soap operas.
Oh boy,
they're so different, but they're very similar. And if I'm thinking about sitcoms, kind of like babysitting children, like it clearly used to for me. I would watch Step by Step all the time, or Growing like, and then the soap opera. It's different. There's no laugh track. You do have like a sweeping, like intro and theme.
It's all formulaic.
It's very drama heavy, but. Again, like the the fucking the torment lingers in a fucking soap opera so much that they draw it out and they almost make a mockery of it. Like everybody's awful in a soap opera, yet they manage to like move through life. And I think thinking of a soap opera as a counter sitcom really makes me understand why I like Twin Peaks so much, because that they really lean into the existential horror in that small community. And they, instead of doing like a sitcom thing, which is, you know, joke heavy and like find the light, you know, Fire Walk With Me is all about the shit that you wouldn't see in a soap opera because it cut away or an episode ended. And we kind of linger on that. I don't know, dude, you got to do a soap opera now.
Soap opera now. I mean, I've been thinking about a lot of Girlz Night sequels, and I definitely want the next one to be a soap opera.
Oh, telenovela?
Telenovela, of course. Yeah, I know. It's been ideas I've been like crafting. Like, I'm not confirming. Oh, Girlz Night 2. I'm not 100% going on board with it, but I've been thinking about it. And like, if I were to make another Girlz Night, it would be a soap opera. Absolutely.
What about Girls' Day?
Girls' Day. Ooh. Girls' Day. Just be like a Midsommar. Just do a Midsommar. Just be like a daytime horror.
Oh, God.
Now, maybe Girlz Night 2 isn't the way to go, although I would watch the fuck out of it. But please work more with your leads. Was it Tegan and Rowan?
Tegan and Rowan, yes.
Dude, they fucking ruled. And where did you find these people?
It's funny because I found them in the most unexpected places. Because when I wrote Girlz Night, I thought of totally two different people. There was this one other girl, and who I want to play Sarah was actually my longtime collaborator and good friend Olivia, who played Margaret Thompson. But then I offered those roles. The first girl was taken for Frankie, rejected it, and for Olivia, she was really busy with school. And I knew that if we're offered the role, it will just like make scheduling or live in hell, and she'll eventually drop out. So I decided to give her the role of Margaret Thompson instead. And so I was bumped there, thinking about who to cast. Then I remember a few weeks ago, I was in musical theater, and that's where I met Rowan and Tegan. And I was simply asking a group chat to somebody to help with my audition. And those two responded to me. And so one day during lunch period, we met up in the theater and we started practicing for my audition. And this was our first introduction to each other. And Rowan already knew me through like other friends. And Tegan somewhat knew me before. But this was like our first time actually communicating with one another. And we all end up actually auditioning together for the legit one. And I thought back to those two and how because Tegan's already like a very like down to earth person. Well, Rowan, like in real life, she's a very vibrant character in real life already. She's always like very like loud and expressive in real life. So like I thought back to those two is like, oh shit, those two are basically perfect. And like have actually like work with them both together. Like I knew they could do it. So I offered both in the script. They both liked it. And yeah, then we made Girlz Night.
Now, I know we're running long here, but I had to ask, did Rowan improv a lot of her burns? Because they're fucking good.
Quite a bit of the film actually is improv driven, which was funny because I originally intended Girlz Night to be completely driven by improv. I wrote the script more as a blueprint. And though Connor hated reading the script and how I formatted it, I wrote it in a sense that, I'm just going to basically change everything on set, like whatever. But during first day of filming, I realized that Rowan Tegan actually preferred sticking by the script and changing it around. So we ended up sticking more by the script, while still improvising quite a bit of the movie, based on ideas, what I was thinking and how I was feeling. But out of the two actors, Rowan did improv quite a bit, like the judo scene, for example.
Yeah,
like the majority of her lines is improv.
What about that beautiful moment that we all loved on our marathon night, where you had Michael in the bathroom.
That was that scene in the script was originally set in a backyard, but I decided to change it to a washroom, and like I thought it's like, yeah, it'd be funny like Michael just like crying, just like gripping onto his crotch. So like we just like rolled the camera, just let like Jacob just go nuts with the lines. So the scene was my idea, and like Jacob like improvised his lines.
Oh,
It worked.
it crushed. Dude, I loved it so much. It was kind of like the climax of or it's the pinnacle of the hilarity, at least what we had in the room, before a very steep drop.
Yeah.
Into darkness. And dude, it was so good. You give him a shout out for us. Tell him we love him here.
Of course, yeah, and also he makes his own music too. That I might give a shout out to. He's actually most likely composing my next movie.
Whoa.
Yeah, so be sure to link his. I'll give a link to his music because his stuff's really damn good.
What does he write under? What name?
Let me search up right now. It's like Jacob, but he spells it like fancy.
Fancy Jacob.
Yeah, it's period Jacob.
Oh, that is fancy.
Yeah, period Jacob. That is his music. Period Jacob.
Now, Christian, before we cut you loose, what can you tell us about your new film and what you got coming down the pipe?
Well, for my new film I'm making this summer, I don't want to give too much away. The only thing I'm gonna say that what the film is, it is $1 Million Baby meets Eyes Wide Shut.
All right.
Yeah, and it's also like our most expensive film too. It wasn't made with only $100. It was actually made with a couple of grand. So I'm very excited to start the ball on that. We've been in pre-production for like months now, and it's kind of getting out really freaky that like we're actually getting close to it. As for projects actually releasing soon, I have my film I made during the peak of COVID that I made entirely by myself with a few voice actors. Also, Rona Tegan does appear in that movie. And that I'm nearly done editing. Nearly done. Just need to do more sound stuff, and I should have it out hopefully this month. But I also said like on Instagram that I released like in 2 weeks, and that hasn't happened, so don't trust me on that. And also, but probably my biggest project I'll release this year is my feature-length documentary. That is about a busker in Victoria called Darth Fiddler. It's called A Nice Trap. And it's been easily the hardest project I ever worked on. I have a lot of footage. I had to like think of different ways to approach it, but I feel like it's something truly special. It's a completely new format for me, a documentary, and it's just something I'm very excited to share with people, especially if you're in Victoria. If you know about Darth Fiddler, I think it would be a very big hit with that crowd.
Can you tell me a little bit about Darth Fiddler?
Darth Fiddler, he's a busker who plays the violin in downtown Victoria for nearly 2 decades now. He has been doing it ever since The Phantom Menace came out. and he's a local celebrity in Victoria. If you live in Victoria, you at least probably walked past Darth Fiddler or met him. He's a local legend in the area. And I made a documentary with him throughout 2019 and early 2020. And again, you can look him up. There's quite a few things about him, and I'm very excited to share even more about him with this documentary.
Perfect. I have to ask, why does the calendar start at the Phantom Menace?
The calendar started at the Phantom Menace? That's just what he told me. Just like when he told me like. It's the only thing I gave out away from the documentary. Like when like the Phantom Menace came out, that's when the first time he busked as Darth Fiddler.
I love it, dude. As long as we're not doing a whole long talking heads thing, and we got some good cinema verite in there, dude. I am.
That's crazy. So the Dark Fiddler is Liam Neeson. Man.
Dude, Christian, thank you for hanging out.
Of course.
And I don't know, giving us your sitcom rant. It's one of my favorite
Find
things.
Steve Cosmic.
Yeah, we got to send you a link to it for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
please do.
Yeah, you guys need to do a collab.
If he's in the Vancouver area and I like his movie, yeah, totally, let's do it.
All right.
Well,
Russ, send the link for Sweater Girls.
the last question I got for you. When are we
Mhm.
going to get a found footage movie out of you?
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a good question. I always want to do a found footage movie.
All right, let's get it done.
It could
You
be
get it
short.
sometime.
It could be short. We're going to be harassing you though. And you're coming back. So we're going to bug you and we got to get you back on.
Of course, yeah, to make a found footage film just for the Unnamed Footage Festival.
Fuck yeah.
I always want to make a found footage movie, so yeah, I'll definitely humor you on that.
All right, we'll hook you up with the slasher victim.
And
Get it done.
and send us the dates to that film festival with the two scam brothers.